o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Paka.
Hey guys, welcome to The Close. We are back for a couple of hours here as we wrap things up on an afternoon where we've had a bit of a back and forth session. If you remember going back to this morning, we were wondering how much directional movement we might get ahead of what is to come tomorrow. Obviously, the Fed, the big event everyone waiting for over the past week or so. We're going to get the half-point interest rate hike most likely coming up tomorrow. In the meantime, there are individual names to discuss this afternoon. Heading towards the close, we mentioned some of the chip makers, that is, very, very strong throughout the day, continuing to push towards day highs. And oh yeah, remember AMC and GME? Who knew? Back to the upside for both. We'll talk about that coming up. Here's a look at the board right now, how we stand heading into the afternoon. 0.73% for the S&P, about 0.5% for the Dow. The NASDAQ trying to get back towards session highs, but it is the S&P right now leading 0.73, as I mentioned. Nice day for the TSX here in Toronto, 1.4%. Back in positive territory, along with some resource price stocks, metal and mining stocks specifically. You can see crude oil there to the downside, 2.25%. Both Bitcoin and Ethereum still negative on the day as well. Hope your afternoon's going well. It has been a bit of a choppy session, as we said. We started things off this morning with Arun talking a little bit about how we might get a little bit of a muted action ahead of the Fed. I mean, I don't think there's going to be any surprise as far as what happens tomorrow. It'll be more focused on the comments and the statement that comes out with the interest rate decision and how they're going to approach things going forward. Everyone expecting more than one, multiple point hikes or larger hikes, as they like to call them. We'll get a half point tomorrow. We'll probably get a half point, even 0.75 maybe coming up in June. However, let's revisit some of the ideas that we had this morning, see how they worked out at the open this morning. We'll see how we can do better tomorrow, come up with a plan for this afternoon as well. Speaking of that, Sean is going to lead us off this afternoon with a look at one of his trades from this morning.
Hey, it's your trade of the day, and yeah, today it's going to be a fun one with AMD. And why did we choose AMD? Well, today was a little tough because the market was pretty flat here in the pre-market, not doing much. Right now, it's the same kind of thing. We are a day ahead of the Fed. So tomorrow we have the Fed coming through, and then that's going to really change everything. Like this time tomorrow, man, this market, we have no idea where we're going to be at. But why did we choose AMD? Again, it's on the sticky note. We don't have it up here today. But the reason why, and it's just quite simple. Look at this move yesterday. We had a 300-point move in the Dow at the end of the day, and the NASDAQ bumped up about 1.5%, almost 2%. Actually, I think it was more close to 2% off this 85. What a monster move. And then look where we kind of got stuck, around $91, $92. We put on our sticky note today that we had that 92 top pegged. Whether or not it was going to break out or not, we sort of felt like it was going to retest that 92 level, but we wanted to go long because the strength yesterday, there was some strength there. If we were going to short, it was going to be at that 92 level. But now let's have a look at what we actually did. This today is more, I have so many outs. I counted, actually I didn't count, our system shows it. There's about 80 or so fills here on AMD. But the idea really is all of these longs, and that is just going with a directional bias. And we talked about that. I want to say a big thank you as well. Some people message me on Twitter. One thing that they've learned a lot that I feel that I've learned is patience, right? Wait for key levels to come through. We talked about it off the open, that you didn't want to get involved too much off the open unless it fell into our laps. And that's exactly what happened. AMD opens up here hovering between 90 and 91 basically. And then look what happens. Bang, it comes right in. Why did we mark this level? If you go over on the 20-minute, that's 88.50. It was the tops the day before. Actually, that's today. Yesterday. It was the tops yesterday before we broke out. So we were thinking, hey, let's look at that level as an area of possible resistance. Then when it breaks it, we can go up to the upside. So we're using it right here as it falls back in as support. So it was resistance there, broke through. Now we'll use it as support. So if you come back over to here, this is 88.50. So we're like, let's start our long at 89. So that's exactly what we did. AMD falls in, and then basically the rest is history from there. We knew we wanted the long on AMD. It came in. It's so nice. We like it twice. Boom, to the upside, out, out, out. We hit it again when we break 90, and then it goes right to 92. And this is 92 right here, right? Well, I guess it's like 92.05. But that is where we were like, okay, let's wait to see what happens. Here's the move, aggressive move up to 92. You might not be able to see it here on the screen, but there are multiple outs up there at 92. So out, 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 out. Even when it broke 92 back down, you see we have an out there as well, breaking back down into 91. So there's the out, comes back, bought it off the 50 period, bought it off VWAP, in, out, in, out. This time it didn't work, but look how fast we're out of it. We're in, we're out. We don't even suffer through all of this. Then it busts back through VWAP. We take the long again, out a little bit more, comes back in, bounces off that 90 one more time, in, and we are still in as I'm sitting here watching it come back down, but we still have a small piece on AMD, and look what that last out was, 91.60. So the lesson today really for me was pick the directional bias, pick a stock that you're very, very familiar with, and then honestly try to respect your levels as much as you can. You're going to get a very choppy market. I mean, AMD today, that's choppy, but we've taken out so much money out of this stock that it has to be my trade of the day. We've got Apple short right now. You can see AMD coming in. My out's going to be right here at VWAP, so I have to have an out somewhere. I don't like turning winning trades into losing ones, so if we break through 90.80 here, that would become a losing trade, but right now it's AMD, it's directional bias, it's patience off the open, and it's hitting our 92 top there and throwing pens. Back to you, Brendan.
It's all about throwing pens when you get excited. The market, coming off a little bit here. AMD joining the move to the downside. And they report aftermarket tonight. So one to watch coming up to the end of the day. Semiconductors in general, though, pretty impressive throughout this session. But we are getting a little more sell pressure coming back into the market as we speak. All of them, including AMD, on the watch list this morning. That's the link. If you're looking for it, we do all of your homework for you. We put it in one place. All you have to do is log in and see it every single morning, and then join us at 8:30, and we'll get you ready for the overall day. EVs. Let's talk about electric vehicles, because not necessarily the vehicles themselves, but the companies that make said EVs were very, very strong today, showing relative strength right out of the gate this morning with a move from Tesla. A whole bunch of call volume went off early on in the morning. That caused the stock to run up, obviously. And then everything else kind of joined the train. There was an individual name on that one. Rivian, guys, or an individual story, I should say, on Rivian this morning. But others seem to be a better trade.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot to sort of unpack, right? Like Rivian had the news story today. They've got the lockup expiring on Monday.
The 9th.
Tesla was kind of back and forth. Like I had one short that was good, then I lost on a long trade. But Lucid was the one I liked, and it was just, I think in this market, we sort of talk about something that finds a low or playing inside a range or finding a key level, which is the theme. Like that's what Sean was talking about in the trade of the day. Like wait for something like that. And that's the only reason I preferred Lucid. There wasn't really a catalyst toward it, but you had made this nice bottom on the daily. It's kind of, if I zoom in, you can maybe see a little bit better. Like this nice little bottom on the daily chart. You pop to the 15-minute, and you can see 1950 was just hanging there, and we had 1910 to break this morning. So we had the long off of 1910 in the morning, and then we did try the 1950 break. It did end up failing. We're back in it right now. Again, it failed at the same price. Like it got to the same high. I've just bought the dip off of this 1945 area, a bit of a bid just tapped in there. And if we can continue this trend to the upside in the futures, this is one that I like to the long side. If it gets through and can hold the bid above 1950, there's just so much room to run. So this is really looking for that trend reversal, which it's already put in from the bottom, and then trying to break out of resistance, which is pretty much where it's at right here at 1950. And we'll get to some of the other names as well. It's been Tesla generally for me the last week or so, but today Lucid hit the key level as opposed to Tesla.
Yeah. Where are trades at the bottom? Are they normally there at this point? Yep, there we go.
Yes.
The only reason why we bring that up right now is because I'm in two names still. And two of these names were on the sticky note. So if we're going to talk about some names, let's do that right now. We had NIO on here and we had Rivian. So both these names were two names that we were going to look at. We thought the electric space was going to be pretty hot today. And we were just in a dollar winner on Rivian. We've been holding this the whole day. We talked about it. We got taken down right there. We basically made that low. It came back in again. We didn't get out this time, thank God. But we're still holding that trade. And unfortunately, I wasn't the market just dropped on us. Probably would have got out when we were there, but we were over there doing the trade of the day. Doesn't really matter. Rivian, we're still in the money, 50 cents from that bottom. I still like it. I like what they're doing in Georgia. They got the tax credits. They got the relief there on some incentives and things like that. So I like Rivian. I still think that this is going to be a buy. NIO, a completely different beast, man. We waited and we were patient on this one. We're still in this name as well with another 50-cent winner. So some of these names have come off a little bit right now, but as long as the market stays positive, I really feel like there's a lot of beat down names here, including NIO. That's already seen a bottom here around this $16 mark. So you could see we've made a bottom, and then look what there is, man. There's tons and tons of room to the upside here on the daily chart. So I like some of these plays. If the market gets rocking and rolling, then yeah, EVs have been beat down so much, Brendo, that I really feel like there's a catch-up game here that needs to be played. Like Fisker's at 10, Lucid's at 20, NIO's at 17, all-time low 15. You know, like there's some names down here that if we are going to get a rally in any sort of a sector, and it is EV, a lot of these names could like go up 20, 30, 40% here in a month, like honestly, right? So let's wait to see what happens. I like the names for now. Are they investable? We'll see. I mean, they're still not making money. That's the big problem here, right? So Rivian, I believe, has a way to go, but let's just wait to see earnings coming through. I like the EV space. I think it's time to start nibbling.
All right, along the same lines, speaking of investable, GME AMC doing things this afternoon. GME just came in a ton, 124 back into 121-ish, but nice run up for GME. It was this one, though, that started this off, it would appear anyways. Back to 16 in a hurry, up 4.25%. Monster volume here. I just saw a couple of notes, guys, on higher options volume once again on both of these this afternoon. But I mean, it's been a while since we've spoken about AMC and GME.
It has, and it's not to say anything to Pratt, but like I know if you guys are obviously following the show, the midday show, Market Movers, and I know he's talking about AMC and this $16 level. And my simple point is a lot of times with these, like AMC or GME, one of them is usually operating as like the futures. There's the leader and there's the follower. AMC was up 4%, GME is up 1%. So you know where the relative strength is. Obviously a bit of a stronger move. And when this wick top got made at 16 on AMC after the parabolic move, well, you weren't even at 125 on GameStop. And that's the reason why I picked GameStop for a short. If you got the long, great, off any of those breaks, 15.20, 15 even, 15.50. But if you don't have it, I wouldn't be buying the top. That's not me. But it could take out that 16 again, maybe. But you're actually getting a pullback in GameStop because it was relatively weak. So I always say if you find yourself in a situation, I remember the first round of meme stocks, a lot of times you just wait for GameStop to fall and then go short costs. Or you'd wait for GameStop to bounce and then go long costs. Or maybe or Bed Bath & Beyond or BlackBerry. And a lot of times, whatever the thing that was leading the charge didn't have to be the one you'd play the reversal on. Like you'd play the reverse in something else. You'd play the strength in the leader. And AMC is a leader right now. That's why short GameStop. I'm getting out in front of 120 because AMC hasn't even pulled back. It's at 1580 off a 16 fail break. So it's barely pulling back, whereas GameStop is basically giving you a gift horse. So I'm going to take this one rather than fall down a hole. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to trail this to 121.50. Last thing I need is AMC taking out the high, because down at $16, like Lord knows where it can go if it really squeezes.
Yeah, I got this. First of all, we got out of our NIO right there as the market's tanking. We're celebrating an Apple win here, man. I mean, where's Trader Pratt? On his show, I was like, bro, I'm holding this 160 short. We did get blown out. It did take one top out, and then we got back in, and now look where we are, man. We're $1.20 now in the money on this Apple trade. So shout out to Trader Pratt. I don't know if he still has it or if he did have it on for that one. But yeah, AMC, Apes Unite, guys. Wow. Look. And I'm going to give a big shout out again because there we go. Let's go to the moon here with the apes. And then we have this too. One of my favorite ones right there. There it is as they get going. Remember yesterday? I mean, again, I said this, I talked about this exact trade on this exact show yesterday, right? And I mean, it still has to work. I mean, you're only up 4% today. But we were saying about going long AMC against this bottom. So if you did that, congratulations. Yeah, let's go. The market coming to the downside here, and Apple's still going. But a nice move upside for AMC. I wish I would have noticed this. But again, preparing different things for this show. Should have noticed this move all the way back up to the upside 16. This is the infamous wick off, top right there. So that was an amazing, like if I'm sitting here and seeing that, that to me is a forever short back in. And just like Randy's jorts, you know, sometimes you got to hold on to your shorts because right now this is going to be testing here 1570 right now. This could be a decent spot right here for a bounce, but if it gives it up, man, then you really have to worry about this 1550. So watch out for AMC on a little bit of a bouncing move right now. I mean, I'm just enamored with Apple still going to the downside. And you know, the sad thing is, we'll talk about it when we get to frustrating stocks, but Meta is going to be talked about very, very soon, Brendo.
Maybe also short the jorts. I don't know. That might be worthwhile.
On Roku.
Yeah, okay, I'll double check. Facebook, guys, nice day for Facebook. A lot of the tech names back to the upside this morning for FB. But yeah, the overall market, guys, moving to the downside in a hurry here.
Yeah, we're just reading that Roku news about
I mean,
stars
I'm in Roku
right
and
now.
it's like
Look
it's
at
running here.
By the way, Apple right now is like, see you later, man. This NASDAQ right here, I know we're going to talk about Facebook right here, but look at NASDAQ just now trying to take out, like, we're not near lows, man. 13,000 is lows. It's down here. But yeah, it's a nice move down. We shorted right here, man. We shorted Apple right there. And look what's happening to Apple. Downside move. Hell yeah. As Apple exploding downside. Wow. $1.50 now in the money on this trade. I'm holding this AMD, but we should have just we talked about getting out at VWAP there. We didn't. So I'm going to have to get out of AMD now as that's starting to go to the downside. AMD is still a very, very successful name for us, but let's get out of that. So Facebook was going to be my frustrating stock of the day. Why? Because honestly, guys, I was long right into here. 210, 209.50. But the problem is your boy had too many shares. Once we broke down through 209, I had to get out. Obviously, wished I would have waited for 208. Couldn't have done that, man. Had too many shares. Then all of a sudden it just rips back up. We get out. And then it just starts taking out new highs. Comes back in, retest that 208. We talked about that live on the show. Why didn't I go long there? And then it just rips up to 215. So Facebook, strength continues, man. I love this name. We absolutely destroyed this long yesterday at about this time. Well, a little bit later than that, around I guess right around now. 230, 240 there. Let's look to do the same again today if Facebook gets down to 210, 211. Strong name, tremendous earnings, man. You know, we saw the move that they had up 20+% after earnings. A nice monster move up on the daily chart here for Facebook. Still has work to do, man, but you know, recent drop down. Let's see if we can climb back to 240. If we get that, man, I'm out of Facebook because that's a big move back to the upside. I like the name. We recently bought before the earnings. That was lucky. Nice move. If we stay above the 50 period, then we're jamming, and that's at 208.
Yeah, this market just turned on a bit of a dime there. The ES got almost back to flat there, and we just turned red again on the NASDAQ. You'll see I got out of Roku, I got out of, I had Lucid there, and GameStop I also got trailed out of. I didn't trade Facebook in here today, so I know Sean handled it, so that's what it's all about. But man, we just had a huge turn. Brendan will have it in a quick second, I think, that Roku news, but it just reclaimed 102. This was actually the long that we liked, breaking out at this 102 area, and we had it to 105 and got stopped out. I had a short that we scalped, and then I just got that dip. Basically, like the news came out and was like, boom, flash news, and you're hit, and I'm already in the long, and then sort of digesting it. You just got to be able to take the hit and get out of it. I am now also out of GameStop as well, so just OST from this morning. But man, a minute ago it felt like we had a shot to basically, you know, retest some of those highs of the day. Maybe not a minute ago, but a few minutes ago. And yeah, once again, pulling back down. It's been whipsaw action. We have not broken out of the range, really, in either direction on the market, which I suppose ahead of the Fed shouldn't be too big a surprise, but it felt like we would.
Yeah, back to point two here, to the downside, but still in a choppy zone. Here's a headline that we were talking about there. The Wall Street Journal, guys, talking about Apollo Group and Roku wanting some sort of stake in stars. Why they would want that, I have no idea. But apparently that is a thing that is causing that. So there you go. Apple hiring a former Ford executive, guys, apparently. This headline came out around lunchtime today. 31-year, in fact, Ford veteran to head up their Apple car division.
All right. I didn't even know that, but For me, Apple's going to remain the same story, man. We were long. Sorry, we've only been short today on Apple. Different stock here. We've wanted this short ahead of 160. We took it a bunch of times today. Apple is going to be one of my number one stocks net-wise here, as we're holding $1.50 now in the money on AAPL. There it is. I mean, this is how I trade. Come on, Pratt, man. I told Pratt, I hear Pratt right now. I told him I was going short 160.40. I have 160.50s on right now, $1.50 now in the money on this trade. So proudly, I hope you have that as well, as we are now moving to the downside. And again, the reason why we have 160, I mean, it's not really rocket science. I mean, unfortunately, some of these wicks are going to make it look bad, but it was yesterday's high. I mean, and that's really it. When you go back, I mean, Apple's been pretty choppy on a 20-minute. There's not much there. If you see, actually, it's not even yesterday's high. Yesterday, let's do this, open it up a little bit here. We had this monster rip. Apple was weak. Like, Apple was fading out all day. Here we go. So, good. My trade's loaded from yesterday. Look at all of these shorts. Apple was a great stock for me yesterday. We absolutely destroyed it. Shorting 158s all day. Boom, boom, boom. Look at this. All the way down. 153, $5 in the money, right? Bang, shorted that stock. So when we came in today, we're like, hey, Apple, not much has changed for Apple, right? It's still going to follow the market. It's still a big dog. So we just looked at a different level and we picked 160. The thing is, it actually broke 160 right there. So short here, 160 out. Look what we're getting out. 50s. 13s, 158.70s. So this is $1.20 in the money. Shorted again, got out. This trade, no work. Short again and out. Oh, actually, that's not a short again. Short again up here, then out. Then this was the big one. This is the one thing that we have to learn from. I mean, I'm trying to learn from my own trading here as well. And that is that if you come back to here, Fahad, look at this. So here's my shorts, 160 30s, 160 40s. Where are we out? 160 52. That's like a 20-cent hit. Okay, then we get that wick off top, then I short again. So 20-cent hits, right? The first outs are 20 cents. Then you're drip, 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 all the way now where we're $1.50 in the money. So this is a 7-to-1 risk to reward ratio at this point. Obviously, when I start cashing stock out, we're at about 2-to-1, 3-to-1. Those have been good ratios for me. So at that point, we're out, and then we're trying to hold a little bit more. We did hold 30%. We just took a piece out right now. But Apple, as long as the market's going to do this, then Apple's going to do this. That's how the market works. Apple's a heavyweight and everything, so we're going to watch that. And I ain't scared of no electric car for Apple because I know they're going to have one. I love Apple. And those of you who, I saw someone talking about that in the chat there. Are we talking about long-term or short-term? Short-term.
All short-term.
Everything we're talking about, unless one of us says something, like this is a good long-term play, something like that, then you know we're talking about short-term because honestly, I'd buy Apple right here. I'd buy Apple ahead of the Fed. I'm not scared. But I like these prices, and I think if you're going to start to buy a stock, Apple would be one of them. But again, not the wisest position to do something before Fed, but I like Apple. I think it's strong. Anything near 150 is a gold mine.
It's definitely relatively stronger than a few names in the market. It's positive on the session, right? Like NASDAQ, basically down about a quarter, maybe less than a quarter. ES is barely upside. So Apple is relatively strong, but it's still below that or at testing and below that 200 period, which it did just recently break. And we sort of talked about what happened last time we got under that price. We ran away from it, and then we barely got away from it here. So closing below the 200 would kind of be a pretty bearish look, which is exactly what it looks like it's going to happen now. It's about 159.50. But I did want to pivot because it's not on our list, but it's worth mentioning that Microsoft is down 1.25%, right? Like if you're looking for one of these names, maybe we'll go to the 3-minute. We'll show you a little bit better. Microsoft's on the low of the day. You see the juxtaposition there between Apple and Microsoft. There's a disconnect that's starting to happen. Like it's every man for himself with these major tech names. They kind of they might move with the market, but I think there's a lot of relative strength and weakness to be played here. Microsoft today, and really for the last couple of days, has been on the relatively weak side of that bucket. Even if Apple, great short off of 160. It's still holding up. I think if it takes out support there, Microsoft's probably already long gone, which might drag the market down with it. Like Microsoft really dragging the NASDAQ and the ES back, which is what we're seeing here. If 280 can't hold, obviously it's going to be a bit of a downward push. I'm still looking for things like, I might get into a Chegg short again. I'm not giving up totally on Lucid, but if the market's going to fall down and Microsoft breaks the low, I'm probably pie in the sky hoping Lucid to go up again.
He was here last week. Randy and I just talking about Jeff Mendel. What's up, Jeff? OTC. Twitter, guys, saying that they're testing this new service, Circle, after Elon Musk said the first thing he did was freeze any new development or hiring after that deal was done. Anyways, Twitter Circle is basically you can limit a forum type deal to 150 recipients if you want to send information directly to a smaller group of people. Not much of a response to this today, but Twitter, guys, back in the headlines.
Well, the thing about any headlines like that, about what they're going to do with it, like that matters. So if you're a shareholder, that either matters to you because the deal falls through and Twitter's doing this and you can benefit from any improvement, or Elon's deal goes through and then any improvements they make to it are completely irrelevant to you because you've sold for $54.20.
Yeah.
So it's...
Well, no, you have to sell for $54.20.
Well, or unless the deal falls through. Unless they don't do the deal. In
Yeah.
which case you just own the shares at whatever price it might be, and I don't think Circle is going to save it. So
I mean, Twitter's not going to be on the exchange anymore, right?
No, exactly.
Yeah.
So unless you're a few, big boys that Elon might get to help, so that he doesn't have to sell as many Tesla shares or stake as many Tesla shares, might get a few to step in there. Maybe Mr. Dorsey will be one of those people, but yeah, it really isn't going to make much of a difference. Might we react off of some of this news? I suppose. But the truth is, if the deal falls through, where are we going on Twitter? 30s, 35? I mean, look, you know what? To be honest, I say that because look where we were when the deal came out. But what has the market done since? What's the market done since then?
Yeah.
So it is lower than when the deal came out. And even if you want to conservatively say it's down at $30, it might not matter this news. And that's why the earnings didn't matter as much. If anything, it's like good news isn't going to do much for it, but bad news is actually a bad thing. Because if you get really bad news, then you could have Elon saying, you know what? $54.20? Nah, I think it's worth $44. The breakup fee's $1 billion, man. When he sold those shares and announced the deal, 114 billion of market cap went out of the tubes on Tesla. So that billion breakup fee, it's actually not that big of a deal. If he wanted to make that kind of a take it or leave it, I don't want to bid $54.20 anymore and just eat the breakup fee, the board might be put in a spot where, okay, well, 44 is better than 30. And if you think that can't happen, it has happened in the past, years and years ago. Like these kind of things happen. It's rare, but it's the kind of thing that can't happen. So you watch out for bad news on Twitter. Good news might not help anybody.
Yeah. Throwing my pen around here today. Yeah, look, I mean, the proof is in the pudding here with Twitter. I mean, if you just look at it, it's not super sexy over the last couple of days. It's a 20-minute chart. Not much happening. For me, it's the same kind of thing. It's a headline-based business right now. Whether or not, I mean, not business, but stock. It's like, and I agree with Neil. I mean, whether or not this Circle matters or not, whether or not he absolutely revolutionizes Twitter, the most this stock can go to is $54.20 right now. It's probably going to be range bound until that day. I don't think the deal is going to fall through. I think he's going to be fine. He's made a big stink out of all this. There's no way that he's going to lose that $1 billion. That's not happening. So I think the deal's done. If you want $6 on your money, you park your money here in Twitter, and you'll get it when the deal's done. But until then, I'll just wait for more news on this stock. And really, I don't think Twitter will be on the sticky note at all until something happens or the deal gets so firm that you could just like rebate trade it, which I don't think that'll happen anyways. So Twitter right now, not really on my radar.
So, you said it might happen because the deadline's October 24th. So I'd anticipate if nothing changes by about the beginning of October, you will be able to just sort of sit there and trade it around like 53, 50, and 54s. We're a ways away from that, I think.
Should be able to.
I remember yesterday we were sitting here talking about him apparently talking to original Twitter investors, including Jack Dorsey, and possibly a tie-in with them coming back in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, it sounds pretty firm at this point. Let's go to frustrating stocks. It was a choppy start to the day. I mean, it's been a choppy session back and forth all day long. You had to be focused on individual names with directional moves right out of the gate this morning. Give me some of your frustrations from this morning, guys.
I was going to go in another direction, but I mean, come on. I just got epically run over in Roku, so it has to be this now. Like Roku was a positive stock. We had the longest at 102 level on the 15-minute. It broke out. It gave the quick move to $5. I thought there was room to 10, but then the market did that shakeout thing. I got out of it, stuck to my rules, and then had a quick little short off of, like, there was a small piece of news that wasn't a huge deal. I essentially faded that off of 104 for a quick little scalp trade just to grab 50 cents, and all was going well. But I remembered the support that it had, and I'll zoom in for you guys. I remembered the support that it had when I grabbed that little news spike, and it was right around this 104 level. So I'm like, okay, I like 104s, and I like this 3 as well. And then they dropped the T with Apollo management nonsense. And the next thing you know, I'm filled. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And then I'm getting the second fill. I'm like, oh, there's news on this. And I'm already in both. And then it's already taking out 102, which was support from the morning. So I just got run over. And this happens. Like, if you leave orders out there, or if you have price areas that you like, and this is why alerts sometimes are better than leaving orders out there, obviously. Because you throw away the profits from the morning. And I use alerts now a heck of a lot more. And it's an old habit. Like, you put the starter position and just leave it out there, knowing you like the level. But when flash news comes, the cancel key is usually the best way to go. Because you might get it right.
As long as you don't it's all about forgetting your orders out there.
But if you get it wrong, then you're going to get run over. So that actually just happened right after 2 o'clock when we started the show. Like, Roku News came out and it dropped like $4.
Where's my Blue Jays troll, by the way? The Blue Jays are doing really nice. Is it under there? Oh, there it is. Yeah, shout out to the Blue Jays.
I think
right
did that.
Yeah, my parents. Oh, you're not at the game tonight, are you?
I am tonight.
Oh, my parents are going there, so they're going to be there. Section 115. I have no idea where that is. Is that good?
I know. Yeah, 115.
115. Okay. Yeah. So shout out to my parents. Hope you guys enjoy the game tonight. It's Alex Manoah on the mound.
So we're
undefeated at Rogers Center.
We're gonna win.
Skydome. I can't believe I just said Rogers Center. What the hell is wrong with me? Okay, all right, that's just a Toronto thing. Everyone's, you're not from Toronto if you're calling it Rogers Center. That's the whole thing. And there was that Turning Red from Disney. Oh, we could talk about Disney. You want to talk about frustrating stocks? Okay, for me, look, I have 2. Okay, Brendan, is that allowed? 2 frustrating stocks? Just this time, okay. So I have 2 frustrating stocks today. First one, Facebook. We love the long, and for some reason, I was just too invested in it too early. Got stopped out. It's embarrassing. Someone said, am I ever red? Yeah, I was red at one point today. Not anymore. Could be at the end of the day, I'll tell you. But right now, we have some positions on, so positions pending, okay. But right now, all good. So Facebook, just not believing, but I didn't have a level. My level was 209. Obviously, it looks like it should have been 208. We'll put that in the feather and their cap there and try to remember that tomorrow. 208 if it comes into play, or even tonight if that comes into play here while we're on the show. But my other frustrating stocks, and let's go Ape Nation Unite, is just AMC. I should be looking at this name. I'm always sort of have this name up. We should have been looking at it. And again, just some bouncing here. And we can look at AMC every day and when it has moves like this and say coulda, woulda, shoulda, things like that. But when you look at a 20-minute chart, yesterday's bottom and this bottom here for AMC was 1470. Came into play again here today. And if you're going to go long 1470, that bottom is 1460, so maybe you extend it down a little bit, give yourself to 1450, or, if you're real cheeky, 14 even if you believe in it. But that was a great move. There's 14 even. That's 1450. Like, I even have a line drawn down there for 1450, right? So you're going to wait to see. That's where volume is, so it's a little bit misleading. But right there, nice move to the upside. Definitely missed opportunity. So congratulations to anybody that had AMC. We talked about this trade yesterday live on the show. Go long at that 1450 area. You can get out at 13 if it breaks. If not, then you have a nice little upside move. So for me, Brendan, thanks for allowing that. But AMC today, missed opportunity because 1470 was there yesterday. It was there a few days ago, and it was there again today. So with minimal risk, just like this Apple trade, now in the money at $1.60 with 20 cents worth of risk, AMC, you had a very, very similar setup. So for me, that was a missed one. I'm glad Neil made some cash on GME there, but definitely should have been looked at. And I think now, hey, look, at least, Neil, it's activated. The king of the jorts is here. Thank you so much, my friend, for the reload. Cheers.
It's so late in the day for coffee. I don't know how you guys do it.
Salud.
Like, I wouldn't be able to.
You're Italian.
I wouldn't be able to. I can't sleep if I drink coffee, or after 2 o'clock.
I shouldn't say that. My brother of the same genetics also can't drink coffee.
Yeah.
So But yeah, you know, whatever. We'll stay live here. I think I've only had, so I had one coffee that Valeria brought me this morning. I tried to make another one, which was half, and then Brandy's like, go. And then this is still full. My Yeti is still.
You didn't even drink that?
Yeah, that's the shame.
Isn't that flavored though?
It's normally hazelnut, but I think it's just the McDonald's normal stuff today. But anyways, guys, that's my frustrating stock. Brendo, you got one?
I don't know. What do you guys think? Do we need a poll on jorts today?
What would the poll be exactly?
Short the jorts? Yes, no?
I want to see Valeria. I got a poll
What
here.
poll?
I got a poll. Let's see Valeria wearing jorts. Wow.
Maybe if they were Randy style.
Can we get
jorts.
Valeria on this 4-box as well? I mean, if Randy's not embarrassed about his legs, we can
Hold on a
show
second.
the jorts.
Say that again, Valeria. What was that?
If Randy
Get the
will
camera
be
on.
kind, will give me his jorts to wear one day, I will do with pleasure.
I don't even
rocking
think
them.
we.
Let's not have a conversation with Valeria until she's on the
Yeah,
screen.
I know. She's on the screen. So basically,
I know Fahad's busy, man. He's a lone wolf.
I think I just heard Valeria say that if Randy gave them to her, she would wear. Is that right?
Yeah.
So she'd
Yes.
wear Randy's jorts if
Right now?
if Randy gave them to her.
I mean, I'm not seeing Randy running around in his boxers. That's for damn sure. But,
Well, we don't need any. No, we don't
Oh,
need that.
come
Nobody
on.
needs.
You want me
Yeah.
to wear jorts? Yeah, I wear jorts. I don't know if I have. So I used to have jorts. I mean, I used to have like
getting
overalls. Like
confusing.
we used to. Brendan, you. I don't know if you did. You probably
you know
did
what?
too.
You know what
Brendan for sure had overalls.
I had overalls.
I used to have
got
the
them.
jean overall.
I got them
100%.
because of the Blackstreet No Diggity.
Right, crisscross and
yeah,
shit too.
crisscross.
I used to wear the one strap down.
That's one
I'm
strap
from the
down.
streets of Brampton. You know, I got to get that corrected.
I
as
used to
well.
have, like,
oh,
the-
Randy's on
the
screen.
Raiders cap.
Okay, let's go. Here's Randy.
There they are.
It's
Get 'em.
10 degrees Celsius. No, we can't see
You
them.
can't even see it.
There
There it
we
is.
go. There's
There.
the jorts.
Yeah.
Take the trades off the bottom. No, Randy, that's not. No, that didn't work.
Family
All right,
show,
we'll
Randy,
figure it
family
out.
show.
There it is. There's the jorts. Okay, good enough. Thanks, Randy, for that. So, what are jorts? Some people asking. So it's shorts. But jean shorts.
Jean shorts,
Jorts. Right? And so very, very popular. Trailer park boys, things like that. Those guys
jeans
are
are a
wearing.
big deal in Canada. Like it's the tuxedo. The Canadian tuxedo is like the all jean jacket. With you can do the jean shirt too. And
People don't believe the streets of Brampton, but
you guys don't know.
Is
man.
that my brother?
Y'all
Yeah,
know.
yeah, we're brothers. Me and Randy, brothers from different mothers.
Look just alike.
Right there. So shout out to Randy. I was actually on the phone with my wife, and I'm like, Randy wore jorts today, and then Randy looks over because he was right there, and he goes, "You're talking to your wife, aren't you?" And I was like, "Yeah." So Randy's a good friend of the family's as well. But I don't know what poll we could put up, but we'll do that eventually. Hey guys. How's it going? So, all right.
What were we talking about?
I have no idea what we're talking about.
Jorts,
stocks, probably.
Disney. So you
Welcome
mentioned
to
Disney.
Trader TV Live.
Well,
yeah.
you mentioned Disney. I was actually going to point this out because I had it loaded up. You know, Disney's forward P is now only at 20, and it's down at $113.
Right.
Like, this is actually finally starting to get to a cheaper price here. So maybe it does. I put in the chat, maybe it has to wait a quarter or something like that. There is now a poll, by the way. What are we doing with jorts?
We're going long on jorts. I can't answer that. For some reason.
No, absolutely not. We're
Are you
going
going
short.
No,
of
what?
course I'm going short.
You don't
on
go
jorts.
shorts on jorts?
Short on jorts. I'll short anything, but I'm definitely shorting that.
Oh, I'm long on jorts. I'm trying to find a pair. So
Why can't you vote on the polls, man?
I cannot vote on a poll. Yeah. Go jort. Yeah, we're gonna go jort. Good one there, Damien. Good one. Someone needs to fill you in. Okay, Paul Wilson. Shorts made of jeans. Jorts. You can look it up. It's actually there. I believe so anyways. And maybe you're right. It is a Canadian thing.
It's
if
only,
you ever
yeah,
hear somebody,
Canadian.
just Google Canadian tuxedo. It's like the jean jacket with the jeans. So, anyways, yeah, that one strap look. I'll see if I can find some hot fire. I mean, there's graduation pictures of Neil and I and all that stuff, like all through high school.
Oh, no, you can't find any grad pictures.
Oh, yeah?
You can't find grad
Watch.
pictures.
We have yearbooks. You know, in yearbooks, they take candid pictures.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure I can find one. I'll just put our friends on this, man. Right now, I could go into the WhatsApp group and definitely find somebody. I'll employ somebody to find out some gangster pictures.
It's probably a few out there.
All right, let's go.
got some good
All right, right now back to trading here, unless there's something else to talk about. This market right now, guys, see you later on this one. The market tried to bounce there. Whoops, let's go over this way. Tried to bounce. Now we're trying to make these lows one more time come through. So watch out for 13,000 right there, man, coming through. Nice little move downside. And look what's happening to Apple. Uh-oh, you want it. Bang for the jorts. We are jort Apple right now, downside, trying to take this out. We are right at VWAP right now for this name. So let's put a bid out on Apple, man. We'll take a piece out. Bang, right there. We'll buy 70s. We get a 69ers right there. Out, Apple. Nice little move. $1.75 in the money on that Apple trade. So yeah, we're working with fire right now. Man, it's good to be back. I'm glad to be back now. Full of energy, feeling good, man. The show is rocking and rolling. I hope you enjoyed it last couple weeks with the Rude, but the full team is here, and we're starting to make some bank. Let's go.
Yeah, let's get it. Well, obviously, let's go. We have shorts on, so I mean, whatever. Let's see if the market goes further to the downside. Remember, every single time, I just reloaded Chegg, but every single time we've gotten down here, we've managed to bounce on the NASDAQ. So it's not as if we've been breaking out of the range, so taking profits does make sense. If you kept thinking the market was going to break out to the top or break out to the bottom, you just basically sat there and then missed out on grabbing your profit. So I think, make sure you're banking all the way through. It is a Fed type of situation where a lot of times we'll wait around until tomorrow to have the real breakout of either direction of this range. But I'm reloading Chegg. I had like 5 shorts on this. Some have worked. Some have always stopped out at the high. We got another one on here. If it gets to VWAP, I'll be pretty happy. Brendo's got a name for us.
ZYME, guys, this acquisition just approved. So all blue capital picking up this Zymeworks. So that just coming out right now. So that has been approved for ZYME.
So I know you said it must be exciting in the market because the boys in the back are getting fired up. But ZYME, I didn't catch what that was, the news story. But what I do know about ZYME is it's nowhere close to the deal. So how could the acquisition's approved? Is it not $10.50? Yeah, that's the crazy thing. It's like it's trading so far away. But it's got a small spike. I think if it actually starts to get going, we'll definitely have a look at it. You can see what happened to this stock, right? It's how could you not be interested in an acquisition when your daily chart looks like that? But this will definitely be seen as a bit of a disappointment that there's really no price action here at all. I see you guys, Prakash, talking about a Tesla getting back down into 900. As my chart wants to be really slow loading up here. Lucid, by the way, just took out VWAP as well. But Tesla. Yeah, we're sitting here. Yeah, we're barcoding off 900. You're not really getting a lot of follow through. But if we get through 900, remember the low is down around that 885, 888 area. So that's still going to be support on Tesla. It was there in the morning where this is when I was loading into Lucid. It's like, yeah, you could have just bought Tesla instead of getting out of a Tesla short. But either way, Tesla still has a few lines of support. If you're looking for something weaker, go over to Microsoft and have a look-see at that. And by the way, what goes up will come back down. GameStop's now back to red on the day. And I'm pretty sure AMC's still holding up a little bit. So, if another leg falls, if AMC goes red, GameStop's probably closer to its low of the day.
Yeah, so, I mean...
Oh, now we're screaming.
I don't know, man. We have a lot of fun here on the show, obviously, but it is really about making the money. So we're going to go wow on this one as we're starting to rain down a little bit here for this Apple trade, man. We were shorting it all yesterday. We're shorting it again today. Again, the trade of the day is AMD, but I mean, it was easily could have been Apple here. What a great move down. We are now we're not at the lowest spot of the day here, but we're pretty darn close to that at 158 and change. So, I mean, just watch out here for the downside. Yeah, buddy, this has been such a great roller coaster here. I couldn't be happier with the way some of these stocks have been trading for us today, including Microsoft. My number one name is AMD. Number two, right beside it, is Microsoft. And then third is Apple when we're talking about profitability. Look at all of these shorts, man. Like normally, I love Mr. Softy. Absolutely. It's my number one favorite stock to trade. But we flipped the switch on it today, man. Flipped the script and just started going short. This 283, we were loving that short. No idea where my reload is right there on that. But that's a great move back in. We should have reloaded. Microsoft should be short right now. Look at it, just taking this down. Great call by Neil. I mean, the market's down 1.5%. And if you rewind, guys, forget about the jorts, forget about everything else. If you rewind this, and maybe I should get Liz to do this, but it was today at like 8:45, I said when I was talking about Apple shorts, and I said Microsoft is the one that has the PE to come out still. It still needed to come down a little bit. Microsoft is bleeding. It's not going to last forever, man. Like, pick up Microsoft while it's on sale. But as you can see, there's a lot of names that have blown right through some of this support. Microsoft's still well above it. I mean, not well, but 170, still got $10 right there. So I still think there's some upside movement here on Microsoft, but we may test still 270 before we bounce. We saw Amazon got clocked. We've seen Facebook get clocked. We've seen Apple, Alphabet get hit. Netflix, did I already say that? A lot of names to the downside right here. Microsoft and Apple still need to fall. So those are the names that we're shorting right now. And yeah, we're just getting paid off. But it's a nice move back up here to the 50 period. So here's a bounce. We've got to put something else on.
So the bounce I like, the first stock I thought about was what was something that it's broken out of the range. Remember 45 on Intel? We're right at that 45. We pulled right back into 45. So when the market, it's not an inevitable bounce, but it was 13,000, right? We came right off 13,000 in the NASDAQ. And you get this nice little push back to the upside. So I wanted something that's at a level I liked. Intel is still at that 45. It was a short in front of it. I did miss out on that long trade, of course. And sometimes it happens to you at lunchtime. But if we can hold around here and the market can continue to move to the upside, Intel is one that can work for the upside because you got to find some relative strength and weakness. Tesla, by the way, back and bouncing above that 900. So it's trying to hold up as well. If it can hold 900, maybe you can try to drag the market with it.
That was a good idea. We just shorted Microsoft right now. We're 40 cents in the money we just took on that one as it went way to the downside there. We just talked about taking weak stock and hitting it. So there's Microsoft. We just shorted at 10s. Where am I short anyways? 7s there and just covered at 69er as we're making some moves downside right here. So did I say 60 cents? If I didn't, well, I meant to. Bang, $1 in the money right there on that. And we just, this is like, anyways, whatever, man. Maybe this is just the way the market's going to go. We are now really great today, man. We just put this trade on, guys. We were just talking about soft. These are minute candles here. Now down in the, let's just take some more out, man. If we can get, whatever, it will take a 40 bid right there. As Microsoft coming in right now, that's what we're talking about, man. What's up to my Turkish friends? Close your eyes, because it's belly dance time, boys and girls. As right there, instantly in the money right there on the softy short. Oh, man, today, once again, man, shout out to Ice Cube. It's like it's Friday every day in the market as it's bouncing around here. Look at that move right back up to the upside. We're out of 60% of this. Maybe we got to get out of it again, man. This is wild. The market bouncing around. Neil, tomorrow is Fed day. Uh-oh. Neil on the big dog over here, Tesla.
Well, I mean, it's simultaneously 913,000 on the NASDAQ. You also, by the way, you also do have the ES trying to bounce off morning support as well. So if I get one shot at 01s off of 9 and then play a reversal as long, I don't want to short it unless we're taking out the bottom on the futures. But overall, it's a good level on Tesla. I did miss out on the long off the bottom in yesterday's trade off at 860. I don't want to miss it if we're going to bounce here. Was it Brendan?
On the day we get a move in AMC and GME, NEG, guys, Newegg just popping up on a volume spike as well, through to 7. Not seeing anything significant on this, but a heads up. Big volume spike there for NEGG.
I'm in NEG for like the 5th time off the high of the day. Once it worked, so well, 1.5 times it worked, but overall, it is going to be a red name. Every single time it breaks the top, I just keep getting out and then looking for the reload. Come on, Tess, give me a break. Yeah, Tesla might have come and gone there. It looks like I tried a little bit too far away. We're at 905. I mean, I like 905, the area code, but really, this was that move. It was right off of 900. I tried to grab 01s there. You can see how quickly it wicked down and then snapped back up. I mean, the bid just, it's like the algos pulled the offer and it just snapped right back up into the 5 range. So I don't want to risk 5. I'd rather be risking 2 or 3. If there's one more shot to pop down here, I'll see if I can get Tesla. But the hands were on the keys, ready to get it. I did get Intel, which is just holding that 45 range. So if we rally, I do got one. I've got something at a good level for the bounce, but it was probably Tesla at 901 that I liked a little bit better.
Yeah, so, okay. Microsoft's come back, which is fine. I mean, it's 30 cents in the money still. We're fine. But the stock itself might not be fine right now. So, okay, here it comes back down. All right, that's fine. I was going to reload it, but I was actually thinking about using VWAP as the out there, which is 282. So I didn't want to reload that low there because, again, if we're wrong, you don't need this thing blowing up against us here. So let's wait to see what Microsoft does. I do have another offer, 281.40. So if we start to climb a little bit, then we'll have our out here around this 282. So if it climbs back upside, we do have a plan of action here on Softy. So I actually encourage this to get upside here so we can get a short. That level is 70. Maybe we should wait for 70. Well, we'll take one fill at 40, maybe another one at 70. Let's see how it comes in, if it does at all, right there for Softy. So I think we're still happy trying to play that short. Because I was short Softy there, we didn't re-engage. Oh man, like what time is this? I got to get rid of this, 14:43. We didn't take it, and I think that that's something else that I'm trying to do as well, is not take too many names that are part of the same index.
Yeah, you don't hurt, it just kills you.
Yeah, you don't need to take Apple short and Microsoft short when you're thinking the market short. Like one of them, I'd almost rather double my position on one of them rather than take both. Just too hard to manage. But that's what stop orders are for. What's up, Brendan?
Just saw a note on GE suggesting the CEO is on CNBC. I don't see that currently, but big volume spike there for GE shares, guys, at day high.
Something GE.
Something about GE on CNBC. So we can take a look there. I never heard of that channel, so I don't know what's up with that. But
that's a bad looking daily.
Although I do tweet stuff out from them. Okay, so we will look at GE in a minute. Now it's time to get serious. We just did take another fill there on Microsoft. We just said which fill we wanted. And like, you know what? Like it instantly goes in the money, 20 cents for us. We didn't take it. We'll sit on there. Here it comes back up. My out is officially going to be 282. So if this blows higher, man, look, will the NASDAQ go? I mean, the last time Powell was here, I said here he comes to save the day, and he did, right? So let's see if Jerome Powell has that in him one more time tomorrow. I do not really want to be short here. So, we will trade the names. There's still an hour before the market closes, an hour before imbalances come out. So I feel like we're safe, but the market could blow at any moment here, man. So and if it's going to go one way, I don't know, maybe my opinion is different than many of yours because I'm typically...
We're back to flat on the NASDAQ.
Typically a bull here, but I was just wondering, I feel like the risk is to the upside, not to the downside right now. That's what I think, based on the feel of this market.
Well, I feel like you want to have both longs and shorts. And here's
like jorts.
There's a good question. Like jorts. Oh, were you going to do jorts all day? Oh, goodness. Mike Murphy had a good question.
Or schlongs.
Like, why not trade the ES or trade the futures? I think what ends up happening if you're an equity trader is you've been sitting there looking at a particular stock, the range that it's put in, the momentum that it has or doesn't have, the key price levels. So when you get to somewhere on the futures and you see a turning point, a lot of times it just might be something you were trading. It's like, oh, but I like this stock long on a bounce. I feel like if the market bounces from here, I'll get a better move in this stock. Or if the market breaks a support level and it's a fake out, well, maybe this stock holds up and I don't worry about getting jiggled out because you found something you're more confident in. And I think that's just what equity traders try to do. Like I went over to Intel on that dip, and it would have been Roku if it wasn't that news to the downside, and said, okay, well, this is what Intel did when the market came back down. Snapped down below 45. 45 was the monster level on the 15 I've been talking about for like a week now. So when the market bounced hard off of 13, I'm like, okay, well, are we back above 45? Yes. Okay, well, that's a level I like. There's been buyers and sellers and good price action running away from it whenever we get above. So if the market bounces, I feel pretty confident that the buyers will come back into Intel. It's also exactly where it closed yesterday, so it's a red to green story as well. And maybe maybe there's a better way to play it, but I find jumping to the name that you're comfortable is a lot easier. It can be a psychological thing too. We can trade the futures. We have the entitlements for it. I do occasionally, but most of the times it's a preference. It's about the price level. It's about the price action. It's about the level of comfort. And ultimately, you just do what works for you. Like you can't worry about what works for somebody else. Arun only trades the futures, and when he's on the show, he'll step into some of the equities. And I know people that when they want to trade the overall market, they're like, I can't trade anything but the SPY or the Qs. They don't even want to look at the ES, even though it's basically the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so for me. I am that way. Like I would rather trade Qs or SPYs rather than the individual contract. Again, just more experience on the. For me, it's the level 2 really, and just like understanding the gateways and just more comfortable with stop orders and how they would act, and that's just to each their own, right? I think that was a great point. All right, so we shlonged Microsoft, but we only went short. So there goes Microsoft right now. We're trying to respect it, man, this 82. So, hey, I mean, look, we just took some out there at 57 or something, basically for flat there as it came back in. So right now, our average price, well, not for flat, we took a 3-cent hit there, but our average price right now is 55. If it breaks 82s, man, we take a 60-cent hit. Is what it is. When you're scalping, you're going to have some wrong plays in you every once in a while. And right now, although now we're in the money, that 10 cents, let's see if, part of me wants to take this out. Not out all of it, but there, we can get a 35, we'll take it. And then we'll wait for a little bit lower than that. But, that's part of trading. You're not going to call every single rip or every single tank or even properly identify rips and tanks. When you're in shares, and you have a position and you're seeing your net go back and forth, that was another tip that we all got basically, and I only say this because Brad talks about it too. Greg has mentioned before, and I think live on our show, some of the tips that he gives to people that are too focused on net, basically like I am, I feel, is to sort of not look at your net, close it. Like just trade off the chart, use the amount of shares that you're sort of comfortable with and let bygones be bygones. For me, it's a little risky to do that, but I do understand the point of it, and that is don't trade your net, trade the setup. Like to say you're positive, like I was talking about being, positive for 12 and a half years in a row every month. That doesn't matter. What matters is, are you making money? Like if you have $100,000 month, 1 month, and lose $5,000 the next month, that's amazing. Like, your up months are way more significant than your down months. That's really what we're trying to do, but on a daily basis. I'm trying to limit my losses and exemplify the wins. Exaggerate?
No, it's...
Hold on to...
Maximize.
Maximize?
It's something like that.
Yeah, okay.
I will say this, though. We don't name names when we talk about stories of traders. It's an easier path. It's not an easier path. It's just it's a less stressful path if you can be consistently, like 8 out of 9 days positive. But not everybody works that way. True story. And Sean knows the guy I'm going to talk about. I'm not going to say who it is, but there was a trader who I think was, maybe, and he didn't last forever, but I think maybe for 10 to 12 years, he was a very successful day trader and very highly profitable trader who, if he was red on the day, he hit his daily loss limit. I mean, 90%, it was 80 to 90% of the time. There was no such thing as down a little bit. It was, if he was down, he got smoked. And he was still actually green. And that's a horribly stressful way to trade. But he always swung big. And risk managing him was a bit of a, it's a bit of a headache at times. But that said, he had a successful career.
What was the first letter of his first name?
Hey, you know who I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah. I just want to make sure we're on the same
I knew
page.
you knew who I was talking about.
Yeah. It's all good.
But it can be done, and everybody is different. There's no possible way that trader was going to try to do the same style as anybody else on the floor. His way of evaluating risk and how many points he was going to give a trade and how much he'd want to average in was always going to be vastly different from everybody else. And he at least accepted that and knew what he was. But I'll tell you this, when he got in the money, you'd sit there and was like, is he going to take any of that out? Is he going to take it? No, he'd just sit there and hold it. And sometimes you'd see him give up huge LFT, loss from the top, because he was trying to hold for the home run. But it worked for him. And you can scalp or do whatever is your strategy. Just make sure you stick to your guns. And this market, man, it just loves to do this. So we bounce off 13,000. So obviously, Intel's only 10 cents in the money. So I went over to Intel and the bounce, if you took the future, a heck of a lot better. Even if I took Lucid, that would be a little bit better than taking this bounce. But we're only halfway there. It does feel like there's no possible way. It does feel like it's pretty unlikely we can continue the seesaw action. We only have an hour left in the session. If we're not, I don't think we're getting back to that high. It would seem after 4 times doing this today, testing that low, that should last you to drop. It feels unlikely that we're going to retest the high and break it out like we've been able to do before. But I've been proven wrong before. I'm going to sit in Chegg unless it breaks out of the high, because as far as I'm concerned, it's a bit of a dead cat bounce in Chegg. So I've been playing this, played a VWAP, which has only worked once, but I'm taking the stop whenever it takes out that high. This time I'm in front of 18. 18.18 is the actual high of day. And if the market goes, well, this one's down 28%, and you know it can fall further. Brendo?
Speaking of breakouts, guys, Mattel up 5% today, just took out 52-week highs on a monster volume spike, up 5%, as I said. Also, BWV, big mover today, little tiny one, just taking out day highs. Yeah, 92% for that one.
All right. Yeah, wow, Mattel, the maker of toys and games and board games, things like that. Okay, there goes Microsoft. The last trade, Mamma Mia. We'll fire off a cannon for that one as it did not work out. We take out that 282. We kept shorting it into here. As you can see, we're able to take a little bit of profit, but then it breaks higher and we get out. So a little bit of a hit there. We were short. I think our average price I was saying was 74.75, and then there's the out right there at 22. So it breaks above, we're out. Now we don't have to worry about it, but that sucks. Never like to make that, well, it's not that our last trade is gonna be that on there. We still have an hour to go. But like I said, man, I know Neil said we probably don't test the highs. I think the risk is to test the highs. So let's wait to see where we go. I mean, it's still so choppy. You know, to say it's gonna go to the bottom or to the high, I mean, it's danced around there all day anyways. So we could go back up here and we could test the lows again. So to me, I think you got to just continue to trade names that have been strong or weak relative to the market. And then if you get the right way, you get the right way. But right now we are out of that. The only thing that's sort of held up that hasn't got me out yet has been Apple. So although Microsoft started to go back up to the upside, our best out on Apple, you saw us get that, was 158.70. So that was about that's exactly $1.80 on that trade. You are coming back upside now on Apple. So that was a nice move up. If we are going to short anything, I think Microsoft just took off a little too aggressively there on me. So I'm not sure about that one. I do think Apple, if you're going to short anything now, that's going to be the one. We just had a couple wick off tops. I'm going to go short Apple again.
Yeah, I'm actually going to cover Intel for the scalp trade. The market gave the bounce. You already missed out on getting the low of that trade. It consolidated on 45, but the market's trying to turn here. And I just sort of said, like, and I could be dead wrong about this. Like, I just don't feel like we're getting back to the high of the day. So getting Intel out halfway from 45 to 45.50, which is still the upper bound key level. Like, if we do come back to the 15 minutes, like 45.50 has been resistance on Intel. So if I don't think we're getting back to the highs and covering at quarters does make some sense. Chegg is now rolled into the money. It's not falling yet. It probably needs the market to help with it, but Chegg's starting to fall. But that BWV, that looks pretty interesting. We always talk about in the afternoon, trade something that moves or trade off levels that you like. Right. Well, this one definitely falls into the former category there, being up almost 100%. And it's another one of these where it's so far to the downside that percentage can be very, very deceiving. Like this stock, it's about $7.50. If I pop to the 15, whoops, that's too far. If I pop to the 15 minutes, it's about $7.50. This wants to load far enough where you'd find a little bit of resistance. I'm going to double check. It's about 10 cents a share to short. Yep, there it is. So you got like $7.50 here. Oh, you got $8 too as well. So about $7.50, $8. That's where resistance could come in. So it's still got room to go. And for now, this is a very linear move to the upside where it's pretty strong. But that's like, there's been no one candle where it's just like screaming. Like there was this one where it broke the high. But I would still say it's a pretty structured. It's been having solid pullbacks, bouncing and riding VWAP all day long. It probably has to do a pullback before it gets to $7, but $7.50, $8 seems like a more reasonable turn. That's what I would look for. And for a dip buy, I mean, it's been giving you VWAP every single time. I think you'd like it to check up a little higher than that. If it tests all the way back to 550, I wouldn't like it. But if it were to consolidate 6 to 620, that could be worth the risk to reward for a bit of a long here. Not too far gone, even though it's up 100%. When you look at the daily chart, it's really not too far gone just yet.
All right. No, it's not. BWV, yeah, not BMW. I saw someone put that on the chat there. Yeah, so right there, we did reshort Apple. We talked about that. Obviously, would have been better closer to 160 there. We got a little excited, took it at that level. We'll wait to see if it comes back in. It just touched, though, man. It just touched 34s. I was waiting at 30s, so missed opportunity there. We'll see if it comes back in. Actually, I was waiting at 34s. I don't know. I guess missed it by a penny. Hopefully, it comes back in and fills us up. I do want to go short again, though, if we break this 50 period. I just feel like, again, I know I said the risk is to the upside, but if Apple is just going to dance around here, we still have 160 to play with. So let's see what Apple wants to do here and go over to Ms. V quickly.
Hey guys, welcome to the Power Hour. Markets are actually positive right now. Let's see if we will be able to bring that into the close. And I wanted to point out that more than 600 people participated in our George poll, but only 400 people smashed the like button. So please, if you are watching us right now, didn't like this video yet, give us your like. It means so much to us. And back to you guys.
That poll is way tighter than I expected. 57% for go short. So 57% of you are with me. And sorry, Randy, wherever you are, you got to go short on the jorts, man. I don't know what's up with those. It's a little bit.
What was the odd? What was the?
It's 57-43.
But what was the question? I
It's
can't.
long or short. What are we doing with jorts? Go long, go short.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's like you like them or not.
Right.
I guess we have to frame everything for like it's a stock thing. We don't have to. It's just, we chose to here. I should get to OST. I'm still sitting in this off the high of the day. I've shorted a few times off the top. And look, it had one halt in here to the upside at 440. And since then, it's been failing off the high. Probably want to adjust my stop order at some point. But if you can look, it got down to 385. And as long as it holds 350, which it already did, higher low, consolidation, it's not threatening the high right now, but it keeps on putting these higher lows. And if the volume could come back in, by the way, the volume you can't even, I'll try to do this so you can see. It's still, you still can't even see it. Like the volume is absolutely dead right now on it. But if it were to pick up, this has put enough support in that you can't let it get through that top. If there's something that can put a late day break on, OST certainly can fit in the category. And just like I was talking about with what's its face, like I already forget, BWV? BWV. Yeah. Like this is another one where the percentage is deceiving just because it's up 40%. Like it can go a heck of a lot more than this, especially if it starts to squeeze. So yes, it's in the money on a short trade, but the bid is stacked up, and it might be in the money 20 or 30 cents. But if this takes out the high, it could be gonzo. All the way to $5. A $5 break would take you, I think it was $7.50 I was looking at. But I do have to get back over to Chegg, which hopefully I'll get some of it back here as it starts to fall. I'll go back to the 3 so you can see. It starts to fall. I'm bidding some in front of 60s and some of 40s, some in front of VWAP down here at 17. It has never given anything better than 17 on any of these dips.
All right, man. So again, we got missed by literally 2 cents again on this Apple trade, but we did put a bid out at 42 and got filled. I'm still waiting for that 34, and then I want to punch shorter. So that's why, I'm sort of right now just debating on what to do. I'm gonna also try to get some more short. I'm actually waiting at 66 right now to get some more short. Mario Lemieux. 66. Yeah. There it is. Okay, so now there's the short. Now we go to the upside. So where are we going to break out of this one, man? I'd like to see Apple. I'd like to give this one a little bit of room. But see, now I'm going against my own talk here because I said the risk is to the upside, and we're getting close to going back to that high. So I'm not sure how much room to give this trade. If I give it all the way up here, I got to give it $1. But see, is there $1 worth down here? That's $1 back down to VWAP. So maybe we are fine with this. So I think that's what we'll do, man. We'll try to end the show with a bang here. And although I like Airbnb, we'll talk about that when we get to earnings. To short it around here to add to this position, I think is okay, around 160.20 or so. So I'm going to just think on this one a little bit here on what to do. I have enough shares that I shouldn't be flipping stocks like this, to be honest with you. But this is embarrassing because we talked about this as well coming down here when we talked about AMC trying to build off this VWAP, and it basically came right back into VWAP and then just took off from there. So AMC, congratulations, Ape Nation, carnival time, man. Get those carnivals out. Let's hit that. Yeah, I like it when it ends on a bang there. But yeah, AMC, it looks like it wants to touch 16 again. Why not? I mean, this is a 1 minute chart. In the last 20 or so minutes, you have about 3 or 4 red candles in here. So AMC trying to go back up to the upside. Looking at 16 again wouldn't surprise me. And I want to see something like this before I go short. And then this is not a wick off bottom, although it would be. Didn't happen down there to 15, especially because there's no big volume candles there. Not only this, look at this. Yeah, you guys can see it. Let me just make this a little bit bigger here. Or maybe full screen if you can, Fahad, maybe. Just so I can explain this a little bit better. Yeah, okay, okay, let me do this full screen. That's my bad. Right there it is. Yeah, so look at the volume on that, right? And then that coincides with that wick off top. So, you know, if we had a big volume spike down on that, it kind of would have been the same thing on that, but that didn't exist, right? So there's the wick off top. So that's what we're looking for again on AMC. So thanks, Fahad. But yeah, that's something that we'll look at again there if it comes through. But for me right now, I've got 99 problems and Apple is one. So it is starting to go back up to the upside right now. 30 cents against us. Not a big deal, but I don't like to lose. So we'll see here where this is going. 160, it just bounced off again.
I'll be looking, with AMC getting back to that, or close to that 16, I'm going to go right back over to GameStop just to show you relative strength and weakness. Like AMC bounced and is 25 cents from that 16, or maybe 35 cents from the high of the day. And this is GameStop. It didn't even get through, you know, I guess first support, which is 122. So it's still got a ways to go. Definitely the weaker of the two. Makes a heck of a lot of sense to make sure that this is the one. If you're going to short it, like, and the way you can play this, which normally would make sense, I'm not in a long on AMC and I wish I'd found one, is that you pick one for the long when you want to play bounces because it's relatively strong, and you pick one for shorts because it's relatively weak, and then that can be the way you go about business. By the way, OST, wow, that just started to fall like an absolute rock. So that rollover, and again, I know I was just sort of giving you the case as to if it held the support, this is the stock that can break out. But I usually say, make sure you have a plan of action if it goes against you. Do you want to get out of your position and reverse long? Do you want to get out of your position and not reverse? Do you want to hold through the top? No, not at all. But I do want to make sure if we bounce off 380 again, I will be covering this just to make sure we take that profit, because it could not get through this at any point since the halt, even though it looked like it was about to give up the ghost. At no point did it really do that. But my next trade, I'm kind of hoping it'll be GameStop, sorry. If we get one more push on AMC up to 16, it's GameStop that I want to fade. And you know, whether I'm able to sort of fade it off 122 to 125 or play it off of 123, I should probably say, when I say fade, like fade just sort of means like sell in front of a level, whereas you're getting short in front of a resistance level or a specific price. You know, or I mean, you could say fade along, like if the stock is falling. Fading is getting in front of the level. Like if you get it on a curl, you're waiting for it to drop, and then you're joining the party to the downside. You know, fading something is shorting it before it even gets there.
Yeah, or Brendan's hair.
I got a fade too. Not as nice as, see, Brendan's hair is exactly like it was yesterday. It's no different.
Brendan's emailing the wife there to ask him about the fades. Yeah, I don't turn action there too. You know, whatever.
We all get fades.
We all get them, yeah.
Except for Fahad.
You know, I was actually talking to the wife here because I was like, oh, you know, Neil switched over to salad. And I'm like, how can you tell? Like, the only three people in this whole place that have salads is me, you, and Brendan. Like, we're old. You know what I mean? Like, we have to do, like, so it's just, I was just thinking about that. I was like, that's just
a good point.
It's just a really, I don't know if it's a good
point
or
like,
not.
Nobody gets a salad in the other, yeah, that's weird.
Yeah,
It really is nobody. It's a pretty good salad.
Brendan is the GOAT, by the way. Let's just drop that down.
Of course
there.
He is the GOAT.
There he is.
His hair is perfect in that picture. Like, come on, man.
Well, if you've ever taken a picture of Brendan in your life, then his hair is perfect. I mean, you gotta, you know, this is a daily routine for him. Okay, let's go back.
He's smiling. He's there studying news right now. Like it's.
No, he's studying something. Oh, Brendan.
Well, I have you.
I wanted to ask you about your oven.
My what?
A stove.
The
your
range.
Stove, the range.
Oh, it's working.
Okay, good. That's good.
I have pictures too. I can show them later.
Yeah, let's show the pictures.
DraftKings, guys, just popping up. California apparently qualifying for a November ballot on sports betting. So DKNG up 2%.
We always talk about DraftKings, but we forget about Penn and things like that. I mean, there are other names there. Yeah, I know, Dominic. I mean, thanks for the super chat. I've tried to tell Neil to grow the fro, but I mean, he just got a haircut.
We had this conversation yesterday,
so now that's a moot point. Oh, and by the way, Dominic, I'm long jorts. Neil's short jorts. So
Dominic's for jort.
He's short the jorts.
He's short the jorts. Of course, he's short the jorts.
But he was like saying, he was cheering on the jorts, and I was like, then you want to be long jorts, right? I mean, that's...
There's only one circumstance under which I would grow the fro, and that would be, like, I've thought about it for, like, and you know, we talked about this for, like, Halloween, just to go to Jules and what's-his-face from Pulp Fiction. Because if I grew it, then I could throw a Jerry curl in. And then,
Fahad has really sick hair.
And then we could rock that. From Pulp Fiction's like a great movie, but I'd love to do that.
Justin Kozach. He's thumbs up for jorts, if anyone was wondering.
But he seems like a George
I'm not overly surprised by that.
Of course, I mean,
Justin.
He's a cool dude, man. If you're a cool dude, you're down with jorts. But yeah, Justin, okay, good update there on the jorts. We can't have Justin on the show for jorts purposes, but maybe next time he's on, he'll talk about that, and we'll get that going. I see jorts is taking over.
It's getting out of hand.
Everything right now. Oh, have you ever seen the? I saw in 60 Minutes, birds aren't real. Have you? I want to start that trend. I might tweet that trend right now. Birds aren't real. Have you guys heard about that? That was really fun. The wife and I were watching it. There's an actual dude. I think it's in. I don't want to say it's Georgia. Is it Maryland? I don't know where he is, but basically it's just for fun and it's taken off. There's like millions of people now that are about it, and it's a government conspiracy. That they killed. Hey, what's up, Maggie? Yeah, that's a good idea.
Oh, so it's like it's basically essentially just like the like flat earthers.
Yes,
and,
yes,
okay.
but this guy knows he's kind of making fun of it, and it is that the government basically has killed all the birds over the last 50 or 60 years, and now all the birds that you see are like government-controlled drones and things like that. So they're flying over your house to see what you're doing and things like that. Birds aren't real. Oh,
there was a Netflix show which was a similar premise to that. It's called Zoo.
See,
where they had a plan of action to kill all the animals, go rabid, and they're trying to kill humans.
Yeah,
so their plan is to kill all the animals.
Yeah,
it's like, and then repopulate them with like essentially like clones.
Unbelievable. I don't know if birds are real or not after all this, so we'll see.
They're not.
I mean, when's the last time you pet a bird?
Why would you pet a bird?
Exactly.
Oh, dude.
The drones don't let you get that close to them.
I wish I got a picture of this, like in my yard, like last week, a hawk. I don't know what it annihilated, but let's just say I was like, my daughter was like, oh, there's a bird at them. Like, you don't want to look at that right now.
Don't look at that bird.
It was bad. Like, that hawk
Probably
crushed.
a cute rabbit, too. Like, you would have, like,
no, the fox gets the rabbits. We get like a fox around the neighborhood. Oh, Chegg, it's about time. I got to hit something for Chegg because I'm down on the stock. Right? You can see I've only been shorting it all day long. Thankfully, at least I waited till it got up to around 17, but it's finally starting to roll over a little bit here. The market not doing so, but this is finally starting to roll over. Things are happening.
I think some of those fake birds got a hold of that graphic there. Do you see how that was going?
I missed it.
It was really slow. It was like here. Let's see the dead cat bounce there. Oh no, and we made it. You played again. Hit it. I don't have it. The celebration one that you did. Let's see.
One?
Yeah, let's see how it goes.
Oh, that's.
Yeah, you see how it's. Yeah, fireworks aren't real. Right there. Okay.
So if we hit too many graphics, it might crash the PC.
Oh, mamma mia. Apple's starting to get spicy, man. Throw some nice prosciutto on that pie. As you're going to the downside right now, coming through, right? So we'll see. We took a little bit off there as it's coming in. We still have that 160 on. Oh, what I wanted to get to is I saw Maggie. I got this idea. We got 2 cups there, coffee mugs. We actually, visitors from Ecuador.
Yes.
Are here in the building. Well, I think they went for a walk around. They're coming back at 4 o'clock. She already showed them around. So I was
they should ring the bell.
That's what. Yeah, actually, they should ring the bell. Great idea. So I said, get some mugs for them. So Maggie went and grabbed it. We're going to sign them up and give them. You know, that's what you got to be, man. People's Traders here for the people. Get them a mug. It's great to see people around. We had those 2 gentlemen before, rang the bell.
Yeah, from out west. Well.
They're from Toronto. Well, what do you mean out west? Like GTA?
One of them was in town from Vancouver.
Oh, one of them was in town. Okay, well, that makes sense. Thanks for visiting.
Out west in Canada, for those of you that don't know. I know
like
Pratt has no idea where British Columbia is, even though he was educated here in Canada. He still doesn't know his geography, which we try to help him out with. He's a good kid.
He's an average kid, yeah. No, we like Brad, but yeah, geography not his. But he likes, if there was a Formula One race in Vancouver, he would know.
Hey, he knows his car.
Where it's at.
Brennan and Pratt know they're racing, that's for sure.
Yeah, we used to have that. So great question there, Alan Newton. I mean, I think we should reinvent this segment, and I'll bring it up next time. I think we could do it. I mean, we should do it. Right now, Lucas is away, but we will get this all set up. We used to have guest trader of the day.
It was once a week, and like if you weren't watching long enough, essentially, like a viewer, one of you guys could come on
for an hour or 40 minutes or whatever.
For a period of time close to 11, like 10:30 to 11 o'clock. We just talk trading. You'd show what are you looking at that day. It was great, Alan. We kind of stopped it after it was like a year ago, I think. But I loved it. It was fun.
Sean has a perfect deadpan delivery. I don't know. Do you know what that means?
Deadpan is like Leslie Nielsen, where it's just you tell a joke, but
then you wait for it, kind of thing. Yeah, I love Leslie Nielsen. What was the
legend, man? Airplane.
Airplane, yeah.
And police,
not Police Academy. That's the one I'm looking for. No, it's not Police Squad.
Well, the show was Police Squad, but the movie was.
No, he was in.
Oh, guys, help us out with the movie. Police Squad was the show, but the movie's killing me now. It was
There's a whole bunch of them.
I know. See, this is a problem. Usually the chat's all over this one. I'm hoping you guys will give it to us.
Naked Gun. Jesus, good one, whoever that was.
Good job, guys. Naked Gun. Thank you.
Shout out to whoever that was. Now everyone's talking about it. Oh, man. That's, ooh, man.
So BWV is popping, by the way, $7.
Pie in face.
How do we not get Naked Gun?
That was tough. We should have had that one.
I Must Kill the Queen. Anyways, that was Reggie Jackson was in that.
A bunch. OJ, wasn't OJ like the limo driver or something?
No, OJ was one of the other cops. He was like a regular in there, the Juice.
The Juice, he was loose in that movie, that's for sure. What a great movie, man, Naked Gun. When we talk about birds aren't real, I want her to clip that 310 about birds aren't real. You could clip that as well, Liz, if you're watching. That was really funny about that. We maybe get some traction on socials. But if we're not getting traction on socials, maybe we'll get it for this one, because if they slap right now as, we just got into some more Apple there, okay. See, that was an order that we left there, breaking through, but VWAP had changed. At that point, that was the 50-period moving average down there. So unfortunately, that's changed on us, but we are short Apple. We should still be short right here, 67, and it'll be 30, 40 cents of the money, but now you're only seeing us in the money a dime piece right now because we hit that short in there. So yeah, let's wait to see if it comes back in. Not super pleased about that trade there. And again, I'm just going to clean up some of my stop orders because that one we didn't really need to take there. So we're into Apple. Hey, if it works, it works. We wanted the trade. It's just I should be short about 15 cents earlier than that punch right there at 20. The short should have been right there at 40 if I was paying more attention and not giving said pan deliveries there.
Come on.
Okay, here we go. Hopefully the market will come down and then we don't have to worry about that.
So there's not size on BWV at 680, but what there is every time it gets above the price, and where's the level 2? It's still on Disney because I was watching Disney before, but every time it gets above the price, I'll quickly show you. I just grabbed it to the short side because of this. Every time it gets above 80, see what happens? Like the spread opens up. Where's the bid? The bid doesn't go above that 80 price, but it'll break and essentially just open up the spread. And a lot of times it's a bit of a bearish sign. Like it'll break and hit stops. So anyone that had a 680 stop, when it's a triple top like this, your stops trigger, and that's how you have the print up here to 688. But there's no actual buyers bidding passively above the price. So that's a bit of a bearish move. So I'll give it to the high of the day here, as long as it keeps doing this. I did like 7 a little bit better, but that's one thing. Like if you're only looking at the chart, you really don't see that. All you see is a triple top at 680. When you pop up to level 2, you're able to notice the lack of buyers. And now if it does drop, there's a scalp trade into like the 60s probably for at least a little bit, and then maybe play some into the 40s and 50s. I don't think it's worth it for any kind of a home run trade because this is a very linear move up, and if anything, it's consolidating. Like you're not really getting... Like you're not getting that whip up where it just goes parabolic and then you get a big flush. I think it's more just like a barcode off here. And if you can take 10, 15 cents, essentially the risk is it's 1-to-1, if not better, if you get some 40s down here. So anyways, that was a bit of, I call it a failed break, but it really had more to do with the spread opening up and just a lack of buyers. That's one way to run stops. Like you run stops into oblivion, and the only people that are buying above 80 are people that are essentially hitting the offer. Like there's no one actually bidding 81, 82, 83, which is what you would typically see in a real breakout trade. There'd be buyers all the way up through once it breaks that 80 level. And yes, Chegg, do your thing, man. It's about time. Not to the moon. I shouldn't have hit that one. I hit the wrong one. Anyways, we do the to the moon, but it's going to the downside here. Finally. Whee! But it's VWAP that we're shooting for because the stock does not want to break past VWAP. So it's multiple times I've been in this. The pattern's been solid, but the key is you've had to get it on the way back down. I made the mistake of getting it on the way up a couple of times when the best trades, every single time it's won, I got it after it failed to break at the high and I made top wick, and then I shorted the consolidation and that worked, and then I get in front of the high and that loses, and then I wait for it to consolidate off of the high and that works. So lesson learned, when you're trading something, doing the old dead cat bounce, showing this much strength, only trade it off of that failed breakout. Allow it to break, allow it to trap more longs, or relieve some pressure, whichever one you prefer to call it, and then short it off with a curl. Now you're starting to see it work down here. Come on, just a couple more legs down. I'll get on 25s. Why not? The quarter leg's pretty good. If it gets to VWAP, we're going to be all out. It's about time on Chegg. I won't be green on Chegg, but overall, it's about trading the setup. You can't worry about whether you won or lost on the stock. If a setup is there, you just got to go ahead and take it.
Shorted Apple again. And there it is right there. There's the tick right there, man. 159.75. Thank you. Come again right now. Apple failing at that 160. Let's go as we get elevated one more time. Coming back into the downside. Here we go. One again on this Apple, man. It's been a fun stock today. And we just shorted 72s. Like, I mean, I had to, Neil was finishing speaking there, but there's the trade. We talked about getting it into 160. There's the short again for you, Fahad. Nice move to the downside. Bang, bang, right there. So there's the reload. We talked about that being a mistake. Whatever. Here it comes to the downside, and hells to the yeah, man. Wow. We've come back to life here, guys, with everything. So this is a monster move now. 70 cents in the money right now as we are Tank City here. I'm going to get out of Rivian. Forget it, man. We're 50 cents in the money on Rivian. See ya. We'll just market that out there on Rivian, whatever the hell price I got, who cares? We're starting to go to the downside right now. That's still a 50-cent winner on Rivian, by the way, that we just took. So nice move downside there. And bye-bye Apple as Apple just takes down that 150. Boom, 80 cents in the money right there. We just took that out. So yeah, go Jays go right now, but now to the downside as we go. Oh yeah, forget about the Jays right now. Well, obviously I think the Jays have a great chance of also making the playoffs. I cannot believe the Yankees have won 9 or whatever it was in a row. Those guys on fire.
Well, they're a good team.
They are, and they all got vaccinated there to come into Toronto. So I thought that was going to be something that we'd have over their heads, but.
That would have been a pretty big advantage, but unfortunately, Aaron Judge, that guy's a monster, by the way. He's an absolute beast. But tonight, they're going to shut him down.
I don't know why he turned down that deal. He turned down a monster deal. He had to bet on himself.
Because he's going to get, dude, that
I know,
guy
but
is going to get
28 or something.
He's going to get so paid.
He's going to get paid, yeah.
Don't even, he'll get paid. He's going to be
I just feel like those big guys, he could tear something. I don't know, his swing, I don't know.
He believes in himself.
I know, that's good. Didn't he turn down $250 million or something?
I forget. It was somewhere ridiculous in that range. But like Soto turned down that kind of a contract as well. But that's sort of the thing. You make those decisions. It's essentially like trading. It's risk to reward, right? Like he basically weighs, okay, this is future earnings. This is what I'm going to get in arbitration versus my risk of getting injured. This is what I've already made. And that's like your bankroll versus you're in, you're out. It's all the same stuff when it comes down to it, man. You're just all thinking in bets here, and you're going to try to make it work out for you. If you talk about working out, watch out for AMC. It's starting to come back down. So I want to short GameStop. I already told you this. I'd rather just go to the easier, lower-hanging fruit. It's starting to roll over, but AMC is catching a bid off 15.70. I'll just put it up this way so you guys can see at exactly the same time what I'm looking at. If we can bounce here on AMC and not take out this 15.8, any kind of a curl here in this range, 15.70 to 15.80, which a curl just sort of rejecting the top, and I want to short anywhere in here on GameStop, giving it to 122. So that's the trade I'm looking to put on, but I do want to see a little bit of a pop or at least a consolidation in AMC without taking out that high and then get into GameStop. So like I said, it's always easier to trade the follower as opposed to the leader if you want to go against that trend. The market, it didn't get back to the highs, so we hung on to the Chegg short. Maybe we're headed back down to that 13,000. We don't want to break 13. Breaking 13,000 would kind of stink this late in the day, so we do have to watch out for that, Brendo.
A little low float name starting to go here. XRTX, one we've mentioned numerous times in the past. Guys, just broke through 2 there on a volume spike.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't looked at any of those, smaller stocks. Looks like punching out of that Rivian there today. What about RD? I mean, I know we talked about RDBX earlier with Brendo. Let's have a quick look at this one. What are we doing on Redbox one more time here today? Nice move up. Obviously, today you're down that 20%. We read right into $10 there yesterday. I mean, that was great. Short into that, down to 690 here today. And RDBX. I don't know. I don't really see a whole hell of a lot here on this chart. I mean, if you get down to 640 maybe, definitely high side here. I mean, you could see right there where we sort of made all that gathering. This is yesterday at 10 o'clock. That sort of consolidation created that break there, but the only high we got to was 11. Forget about that wick is actually exactly 11, so that's a consolidated top for sure. That wick off top that we like, kind of with volume down there as well. So RDBX, what I'm looking for when I look at this kind of stuff is to see if we have any wicks like that or anything that's out of line. I would say no on this name. So you can respect this 673, but I think AMC, GME, things like that are actually moving are probably a little bit better to trade right now than some of these other names. Speaking of, Neil, as just on cue there, you're into AMC or GME.
Yeah, definitely GME. So, like, you just had that little bit of a pop there on AMC, and then GME was testing 120, 150. There was already an iceberg at 120, 150, so I just jumped on. And the thing about in an iceberg is they're displaying X amount of size, like usually 100 shares, and there's shares behind it you can tell because it continually prints that level without being filled. If you post to that level, you immediately jump the line because all their reserve shares are behind that order. So it's a bit of a benefit anytime you see that. But 120, 150 had one. I'll put the stop at this consolidation 122. So if it gets through that iceberg, fair enough. The other thing that I can look at, if I just wanted to maybe have an even tighter stop, which I'm not going to do here because it's really only 50 cents plus slippage, would be to simply punch out if AMC takes out 16 again. Like if AMC breaks out from here, I could always just punch out manually of GameStop. But because the stop is so tight, I don't feel the need to do that. If we roll over from here and test VWAP, I feel like this will already be there before AMC even sniffs it. So I'm going to play that relative weakness. It's worked before. We'll try to make it work again. BWV has now really rolled over. And sort of what I was showing you guys in the level 2, I'm going to get out. Because I remember it said $6. I'm not even thinking about VWAP. This had a previous high at 6, kind of consolidated there, just jumped out there at $6. So we'll ring the register for that one. But if you don't have access to a level 2, some styles of trading don't necessarily work. Like in playing this off of the tape at the high, you've got to be looking at that level 2 to be able to see the spread open up. That is a telltale sign that it's rejecting a price level. The lack of buyers physically sitting on the bid above a breakout price tells you that all it did is just run stops and had no other buy support behind it. And you can't see that by just reading the wick on the chart. You really do have to see the tape. You really do have to be looking at the level 2 while it's happening. That's why I tried to bring it up for you guys live.
I seen Dominic talk a couple times here. Maybe Brennan can figure out AERC today, up 19%. Big mover, not too much volume, and only 300,000 shares. So I feel like this is just probably something, Dominic, that's just being like pushed around a little bit here. Like I have no idea what this is all about. Like back in November, like why was this thing? I'm assuming this might have been spun off. I don't know. I mean, why did it start at $82, went to 120, and now is all the way down here at 3? So, Dominic, I know it's not a whole hell of a lot of help here, but the 50 periods at 360, I think that's worth it, man. If it takes that out, I'd go long on this name here. This 360 is a great level. So not only that, but that was kind of the high today, 340. So AERC, I don't know anything about it. It's Aero Clean Technology, but you have the bottom at 245 with a lot of upside, man. So yeah, like if you want to try to make something here, why not go long right now? 315, your bottom is about 80 cents lower and your top is like unlimited, basically. So, yeah, AERC, an interesting one. What's up, Brendo?
They released a amendment to their full year report that came out at the end of last year. But anyways, wasn't that big of a deal. Very light volume on that AERC, as Sean was saying, though. CVS, meanwhile, set to report tomorrow morning, before the open tomorrow. Just popping up on some sell volume here. You can see coming in, guys. At day lows, just went green to red there for CVS.
Ooh, yeah, that's. Oh, come on, load up chart. I hate when this happens. It's happened with Expedia in the afternoon show, and I couldn't bring up the chart for you guys. But yeah, that low of the day on CVS, you've already broken through major support. This was. Yesterday it was 175 was like the level of death for Expedia, and of course you really didn't have a shot at it. I mean, it got destroyed on earnings, so there really wasn't much of a shot at 175 unless you were really, really quick or really early. But CVS here is already broken momentum, and this is just a huge floor. I'm kicking myself. We usually don't trade these post earnings. If there's any kind of a sideways action, you're unlikely to get it. But if there's anything weak about that report, and you can play off of that 98 to the short side, like that is the clear level. It's a previous support. That's where you want to be short in front of. I know what I want to be looking at tomorrow morning after the earnings report comes out, but there's no guarantee that's still resistance. If it pops above, you can play it for support. The lead does make you feel like it's going to come in poorly, just given how weak this looks. But 98, that's definitely going to get written down for me as a pretty key level. AMC starting to roll over, so hopefully that should mean that GameStop will roll as well. That's been the leading indicator, but it hasn't fallen just yet. This market, though, heading back down here, Sean. I mean, we're probably far enough away from the imbalances that we won't be looking at, and I'll pull this up for you over here in the futures. We're probably not going to be looking at 13,000. right when the imbalances come out at 350. But on Friday, the reason there was that huge fall on Friday was right when imbalances were coming out, was the same moment that like Apple and the futures were all on major support. So it just all kind of happened at once and then cascaded. I don't think that's going to happen unless we get down to 13,000 really quickly in the next 15 minutes. We've been range bound all day today, and you had to take advantage of it. That's playoff support, resistance, playoff key levels. There's been no other game in town today.
Well, yeah. I mean, the market's been so choppy that, you've had to play off levels for sure. I'm going to look at Facebook to take a short here. It's bounced off this 213 a couple times. I know the sell side, someone just posted in there 161 million to sell, so not a huge number by any stretch of the imaginations. Right now, 80, there we go. So now we're short now on Facebook. It's going to fly around a bit, but if we break above this 213, we're going to be out. We're just going to test a short now. We're short at what, 70? So flat here on this name. Let's see if Facebook wants to dance a little bit back down in here. We just came from down here, 212, so maybe we do get that on Facebook. What's up, Brendo?
This Rocket Lab, guys, they just tweeting about a partially successful catch of a rocket booster. This is the company that uses helicopters to catch the actual booster as they fall off of rockets, I guess. So just broke the day lows to the downside there on that note for RKLB.
Like, it's actually really cool. So like the reason they're up on the session is like, yeah, it did drop the rocket booster, but that was like the secondary part. Like the mission was successful. The secondary part was whether or not they could actually be able to catch it, which is cool. Like, it comes down in a parachute, and then you have like I guess a ridiculously skilled pilot that's able, as it's gliding down.
What? It's not remote. It's not AI. Like,
no, they catch it with a helicopter. So like it's cool. It's cool as shit. Like, one of the coolest stories out there was like there was a dude on Rogan who did like rescues on Everest.
Yeah,
from the helicopter rescues.
Yeah, they're called fire. There's
I'm like, those guys are so legit.
Fire
man.
jumpers or something, isn't it? Like where they jump into
it's similar
forest
to that.
fires and
but
stuff?
These guys were specifically pulling people off the mountain. And I'm just like, yeah, when I picture stuff like that, like there's people out there that are just what they do on a daily basis. Like, we get to have fun trading the markets, and there's people out there like catching rocket
Literally,
boosters in a helicopter.
Yeah.
Like, you win at life, buddy, if you can pull off
We're
stuff
just
like
hitting
that.
rocket animations. These dudes are actually... All right, let's go Maple Leafs. We'll hit it. Good win for them yesterday. But look at this Facebook trade, man. We just shorted it. Oh, yeah. Facebook back downside, man. We just shorted this name. There it is. Yes, sir. 50 cents right there on Facebook. What is going on right now, man? We're back with a vengeance right now. Facebook, let's do it. 75 cents win right there on Facebook, man. We just took this trade. Like, what exactly? I mean, look at this. We just took this against that 50 period right back in there. So another one. Yesterday we're 6 for 6. Today, the only losing trade we have on is Facebook. That's the only losing stock today for us is Facebook. And it was off these longs early, which we went up $10 from that level. So nice trade there on Facebook to the downside. Let's see where it goes, man. And what's up, Papa Boy? I know you're just busting me there. You said, oh, your Facebook short is dead. No, it's cash money right now. We'll fail on that as the market right now. It's funny because we're flat. We talked about it today that this was going to be one of those days, man. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to actually take out another piece right here if I get it. There it is. I just punched out. Oh, man, we punched out at O's there. As there goes Facebook. Downside. Adios. See ya. Now we're 70 cents in the money on this name as the money just keeps flowing in over here. We're basically at the highest spot we've been at all day here. So it's a nice little move down. We've had some unrealized positions for us, but there we go, man. You want active trading in the afternoon show? There it is. Lots of trades being put on for me today. AMD, Apple, Facebook, Softy, Neo, Rivian, all coming through, man. Lots of fills, lots of fun. It's been a great day. What's up, Big Desk?
Hey guys, I would love to update you on our jorts poll. Again, 55 people say that they're shorting jorts, while 45 people say that they're going long on jorts. Anyways, guys, great result. I feel like opinions divided in the middle. But again, 1,000 120 people participated in the poll, and we're now at 800 likes. Guys, please help us get 200 more likes to get to that 1,000, and everyone will be happy, both who wear jorts or who are not. Back to you.
It's like easier to hit the poll than it is to click the like button. It's a weird one, man. I also don't, it's weird that everyone likes the jorts. That's what I don't understand. But I just did one of these. I just looked directly the gift horse in the mouth. So GameStop started to pop back down, and it was accelerating, and I was watching AMC do this, like start to fall. So I'm like, oh, the move is happening. And I pulled my bid back. I'm like, let's move it back into 120. Let's not take the first dollar. Let's actually try to get more than that. But I've thought better of it. I will try to scalp the first bid out and play for VWAP. But again, AMC leading the charge, and we're going to see if we follow here. And just keep it simple. It's not keep it simple stupid. It's just keep it simple in general when you try to make these trades. Go off the levels that work. That BWV, by the way, there are still some names which are trying to move. This is it off $6. Sometimes it's worth a reversal, but it goes from 6. We get out all the way back and retest 7. Well, guess what that is? Like, that's another wick top off of 7 even. In this particular case, it does make the breakout off of that 680 price, hit 7, now consolidating back here. And so I will ring the register. I'll hit this one. That's going to be for Ja Morant. And now they might not win the series, but
Will not win the
series.
series.
Fine, they will not win the series. But Ja Morant is an unbelievable talent, man. I'm telling you, if you're into basketball, the kid is special. Anyways, I'm going to get into BWV. I sold my Beamer. Get into BWV here if I can, right around that same 680. That's a wick up top if I've seen it. I just mentioned to you guys in GameStop that I would make sure we took the profit. Uh-oh, I hit that NF. Why is NF even here for me to be able to trip that up and hit it? So I got to do this for you guys now because GameStop just rolled over. I got those shares out in front of 120.50 to make sure we grab that first dollar. The stop is still going to be in place, and I'm playing it to VWAP 120s. Let's see if we can't get, well, maybe a little bit lower than 120 because VWAP's down at 119.5. So shooting for about $2 on the last of this trade. Eventually, this chart will actually stop loading so that I can give you the real symbol. There we go. There it is. First out there for the buck, and we'll see if we can't get 119.50s on GameStop.
Yeah, we are.
NF.
We're loving life right now, man. Facebook to the downside. Let's go. Right now, the gates of hell have opened up for the shorts right here. And we're just loving these trades. So right now, look at Facebook going down here. Look where we shorted this name as it comes right back in here. So making that money back, like frustrating stock it might be, but not as much anymore as we've made some of this money back here on this name. So there we go. Down goes Facebook. And someone said, oh, it shows that I lost $6 on this. No, what it does is just it adds up all the outs that we take. Like Facebook, it's impossible for me here in the morning to have lost $6 on this trade, right? And so it calculates where you get out. Like, so if I get out of 100 shares right here and I lost $1, then I get out of another 100 shares down here, then it's just going to add those two together to make it look like I lost $2, right? Because I have two outs. But anyways, just to let you guys know how that works. And just like it says right here on the screen, like I didn't make $2.11 in one trade on Rivian. It's just adding up all of the trades together, right? So like right there, Facebook minus 403. It's not a completely accurate system there. I'll try to do a little bit of a better job explaining that on a couple shows after this. But right now we're just in too many winners and too many big positions. So yeah, Facebook right now $1 in the money and Apple. Both these trades, $1 in the money. We are now officially now at the highest spot I've been at all day. There's Apple to the downside. Look at that reload. I mean, this is what I mean when I'm talking about like making money. It's like there's so many more opportunities that I'm doing here that maybe you're going a little undercover. Like these Apple trades starting to go downside one more time, and we have it on board. We also have that Facebook trade. So the only thing we got away from, we stopped shorting AMD. We were actually going long AMD, and then Microsoft is my number. Actually, now Microsoft, so Apple's overtaken Microsoft now as my number 2 name on the board today. We were short Microsoft. We should have been. We picked Facebook and we picked Apple, but we could have been and should have been short right here on Microsoft as well for you guys at 3 o'clock. So that would now be I mean, that's a no-brainer trade right there. I can't believe we missed that, but there it is. A nice downside move here for Softy yeah, today is a good day, man, going to the downside. Oh, it's almost in balance time. Holy crap, I didn't even realize that.
It's only 6 minutes.
Yeah,
Sorry, 7 minutes.
So I might think about getting out. Let us know if there's any update on the imbalance. Practice
It's still
it's
a small
unchanged from that 161 that someone gave us.
No, it's, I thought we had, 161 still to sell. That's
was
tiny.
in the chat somewhere, yeah.
Yeah, that's still, but the market's not acting like it, right? Like we're still falling off here, right? Like this is, it's still a pretty weak move. It's a pretty strong move, I should say, back into the downside. We're likely to hold support. It just feels like it's inevitable that we're going to hold support at 13. But the last thing I wanted to see was 350, and we're on the lows. And if it's a surprise, larger sell imbalance than expected, then you could get some fireworks. Now, this BWV here, yeah, we usually want to be flat or close to flat at the end of the day. This is pretty strong. You got to be willing to admit that here. I don't even want to give this to the high of the day. I feel like if it gets back to 7, it's likely to take out. So I'm going to start to get more aggressive getting this one out. And Chegg as well. Chegg, GameStop, maybe more so Chegg. Anything that was post-earnings, like there's just a higher probability that you might see a little bit of action on the imbalance. And the trend has been dead cat bounce all day long. Like there's buyers on every single dip here. So it is going to end up working out. But I'm going to probably trail this through 1760. I don't want to be in necessarily this one at 350 when it drops. Out of things that could be on that imbalance, I would expect Apple is usually, I know you're in Apple. Apple has been one way or the other, like it's usually been about $1 million or so, and sometimes even 2, pretty much every day for the last week. So I'd expect that name to be there. Somehow I'm not out of GameStop at 119.50, despite the fact that it's still rolling to the downside, but that feels pretty secure at this point, as does Chegg. It's BWV that I got to worry about. And Brennan brought us that other high flyer, that ZRTX. I did have a quick look at it, but couldn't catch the curl. Like that one's already starting to come back. It was right at that 2.25 that it faded. Looks like it's starting to come all the way back in here. That one seems to be done for the day.
Yeah, so we just took $1.02 there on Apple, lightening the load. So we're out of half of our position. We only have half left now on Apple. We've just, it's like that happened to me the other day where we've made all these amazing calls and then the imbalance comes out. And, any of your shorts get wrecked or your longs get wrecked off of a market imbalance that really has nothing to do with anything that we're working with here anyways. So if you do get an update in that, guys, let us know. But right now, it is going to be a little bit of a short, apparently. So we'll see about a sell move coming through here, maybe on this. Facebook is $1.50 now in the money. $1.30 in the money now. Facebook trying to come back in here. So let's see if that is a trade that we can sort of deal with here quickly. Facebook coming back in. And again, if we had that crystal ball, we would have just held this, but it bounced back up. We shorted it into this move. So here we go. The market's basically flat today, down 0.26. It's a good call. I thought the risk was to the upside, but it looks like we have fallen back in here. So with only a couple minutes left, we'll see where we go on this. But for right now, it's definitely looking like this is going to be a short, I guess, into this move. So for now, we'll see. But there goes Facebook right now making new lows. So not new lows on the day. We already made that right there by me. But yeah, right there, watching out for this one. But this is a clean move. So what's up to stock hands there that was talking about, the trades? I mean, this is why I believe we are the best show, period. All things considered, man, we show our entries, we show our exits, and yeah, we're the only show, and that's why we're here. So, and I hope that's why you're here as well. Honesty and, just going over levels, talking to you guys. I think we had a lot of fun today. Birds aren't real, jorts, things like that. That was a lot of fun. But
it was John Reiner was asking, it's like, where's your stop on GameStop? And I'm like, 122, and it was right there, like 22. If it's like one tick away, like that trade, it's one tick away, well, close to it. The spread was like maybe 10, 15 cents. But that's a tight spread for GameStop. It was so close to running that stop, but that's how it has to be sometimes. And I'm making this segue here because with 3 minutes to go, I just canceled the stop that I still had on Tesla because I don't want to get triggered into 350. I always want to make sure you don't have orders out there that you didn't want because this is Tesla off of 900. I had this one from earlier just in case we were going to try and grab that trade off the bounce, but I missed the entry at 01s, so I never got the long trade, and I don't want to take that long right into the imbalances with only 2.5 minutes to go. But Tesla just bounced off 900 again. Brennan?
Match Group, guys, would appear possibly. I mean, we had, 2 or 3 fake news reports last week, so I'm going to be cautious on this, but they could have just reported. So MTCH, possibly their earnings are out.
Wasn't it Match Group that was it like Facebook rumor buying them or something last week?
Really?
Brendan,
Really?
is that true? Was there a...
Yeah.
Yeah, there was just rumors, but like, what is it with releasing earnings early or accidentally releasing them lately? Like, figure it out.
Oh, wow.
Figure it
Thank you, ASMR there. The value from the show is immeasurable. I like that word, immeasurable. Good one. Thank you.
That's a school word right there.
Yeah, that's a little advanced for me, but good word there. Thank you for that one, Mr. ASMR. Okay, and remember we said, like, I just took out Apple. I mean, and this is, again, what we're talking about. It's bouncing around VWAP. It's down there. We get out of half of our position. So now when it starts ripping back up, it's like NBD, right? No big deal on that one. So, whoops. We're trying to call up these numbers right here for you. These are the imbalances that are coming out right now. So we're trying to hide ARCA. So we'll say okay to that one. And then we'll wait for them to come out. As you can see, these are all as of 9:30. We will watch this together. Let me move it over here so we can watch some stock. As it's going to come out very, very soon. We're under a minute now before these imbalances come out. So whether or not there's going to be upside, downside, the market's kind of just fluttering right now. I'm light on both these positions. You just heard me take out half of Apple. Normally, I would reload it right now at some of these, oh, look at that bad wick right there, at some of these 50-period moving averages, but we're not going to do that. We'll just roll the dice here in these imbalances. GME might be on the imbalance as well. So, yeah.
That's all I got left. I think it might not be, but...
It'll be on there, but maybe
it'll be on
not.
there, tiny. But Apple almost for sure. Like every single day, I feel like Apple's been there. So I want to watch out for that. And there's some earnings to get through. But for now, in 25 seconds, it is about Apple, maybe about Microsoft too, because it's been relatively weak. But we are bouncing shy of that high. So we're not breaking out of this range today. It doesn't feel like it.
No, I mean, I'm so far in the money that I'm not even going to worry about it. $1 one way, 70 cents the other way here for Apple and for Facebook. But here we go. We only have 10 seconds left, and then they'll come out right now, and we'll see which way we go. You see the market is starting to pull down here a little bit, so maybe it is going to be a short into this. But let's see. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and now the imbalances are out. You can see the NASDAQ's kind of dancing a little bit here. Apple's starting to move down, so that's going to be a good one. What is actually, there's Apple right there with a sell. Hyundai to sell. 100,000 shares, or sorry, million shares to sell there for Apple. Uber with a big sell, man, 1.7 million into Lyft earnings tomorrow. We can watch Uber together here, see where that's going. Whoops, there it is right there. Uber, yeah, so was at 60, now down to 50, not a big move down. Other than that, not much happening, but it is the Apple to the downside there. Caught the apple of my eye as we are now right, see, like just like we were just talking about, just where we were, right? Apple goes all the way up and all the way back down. A 50-cent swing there for Apple, right back down there to those lows. I think I'll just hold on to it and see where we go from here. AAPL.
Yeah, there's a bit of, like, it's not a huge bit, but it's enough of a bit at 120 on GameStop that I think I'm just going to see if I can't get it out in front of 120. We're probably not going to get that 119.5. At least it doesn't feel like we're going to get that 119.5. So GameStop's starting to open up. Uber, by the way, like, it didn't move much, but there might be a fade here. Like, if it, I'm sort of seeing like it's 1.7 million to sell, and it kind of went sideways. You got maybe a risk-off situation. It's been weak all day long. I'm kind of feeling in front of like 60s here, and just see if it has a bit of a rollover. If there's any kind of a pop into 60, just to take a shot at it. And again, did I just get it? Yeah, I think we got it. Yeah, we got 55s in there. And if it can hold this area here around 60s, the one thing about this trade, remember at 355 things update. So if Uber went from 1.7 million to sell to like 1 million to sell or 1.2 or even paired off altogether, like that'd be no good ultimately. But let's see what happens. And if it wasn't for Lyft earnings, I don't think I'd be trying to take that kind of a scalp trade. But it's worth it. A lot of times you'll try to get it off the highs, which would be 20 cents higher, but it barely budged when the imbalances came out at all.
Yeah, so I'm going to sit here, try to make $1 on Apple. If it comes back down to VWAP, we'll take it. We are in the money now, 80 cents, 70 cents. So we should be able to get it, but we'll see here. If the market wants to turn around, fine. Like I said, we'll try to get that out again down here. The market will update at 355. Hopefully, Apple will stay a sell and we'll be able to get that price, but I don't know. And then right now for Facebook, we're almost out of this one, breaking through 212. We might as well get out. It's going to be a 70-cent winner. It did go down a lot further than that, man. But again, these imbalances, like I thought that was a sell side imbalance and the market's ripping up. So, man, they haven't been kind to me holding out some of these smaller positions. So I think tomorrow we'll just exit them before the imbalances come out. Why give up this like 30, 40 cents worth here?
So
we don't need to do that.
Someone was just asking what the paired volume is. I'll try to do it, explain it as quickly as possible. Maybe I'll talk about Uber there. For the paired volume. So think about what the imbalances are is all of the closing auction orders that go in, buy side, sell side, limit orders, market orders. So the entire open interest of those orders is, say, maybe there's 100 million shares in there. In this particular case in Uber, it's 2 million shares. However, there's an unresolved 1.7 million to sell. So that's how many shares are unaccounted for. Paired off is 300,000. And the reason they release these are so that the imbalance gets paired off and you have, a structured close and not a lot of volatility in the close. So people that are interested in buying Uber can say, ooh, there's a big sell auction imbalance here, so I can buy shares without moving the price into the close. So it gets paired off, and this number will increase at 300,000, and usually that 1.7 will decrease. If they can't pair it, that means there's not enough buyers for the amount to sell. And that, of course, will usually mean that the stock goes down. It's not a guarantee that it goes down. Like this quick little short could easily lose. But if this doesn't start to get paired off and that size, the sell imbalance decrease, then Uber should fall, in theory. It doesn't mean it has to happen, but you're always watching that paired volume. It's going to increase here at 355.
All right, Brendan, what's up?
Sorry?
I'm just going to mention, guys, Oatly, O-T-L-Y, set to report tomorrow, I believe, before the market opens. There was a note from Spruce Point Capital just out on this, so you can see a huge volume spike here. So they were short this going back months and months ago. That's the daily chart, just a mess, obviously. So they came out and said today they covered their short, which clearly happened all at once. So Oatly no longer short by Spruce Point Capital. Anyways, they're reporting tomorrow morning. Here's a look at what else is coming up tonight, after market, and tomorrow morning for earnings.
Look in the middle.
Yeah, you don't look too far there. I mean, AMD is a big one, man. I mean, I really like Airbnb. To me, I think if people are looking for a swing kind of a trade, I think Airbnb beats and guides. I don't know if they beat actually, but I feel like, and I don't have any real clue on this one, but I feel like Airbnb could beat. I like AMD for a swing trade. Again, I think it's been beat down a lot. But taking some of these tech stocks and really taking a shot on them. It's like Facebook blew it out. I took a shot on that, went long. That's really the only name that I've taken a shot at here before earnings. And I don't know. I just don't know if we can trust exactly the chip names here at all. But, should come into play one more time. AMD, I like it. And Starbucks, let's just wait to find out what the problem is there.
And that's sort of I'm just really, really curious to listen to not listen to the call. I don't really listen to them anymore, but it's really more about just reading the transcript or hearing what they got to say, because Starbucks on the daily, it's been getting absolutely punished, and it's too good a brand. When you start thinking about dollar cost averaging into businesses you understand, I don't drink Starbucks because I understand their model. It's okay, just charge more for premium, and that can be under pressure in a recession, but you've got to figure they figure it out, because you're back down to, this won't load, but below 2020 prices right now on Starbucks. You talk about names that have come back in. This is not necessarily one that you would have expected to be, essentially a good 40% off of the highs, but it absolutely is. A huge correction on Starbucks. I know they have some things going against them here, but you would think that inflationary pressures wouldn't be the end of the world necessarily for them, but the supply chain has been a problem. Starbucks one we'll be watching for sure. I just saw Uber. It did not change. It's still 1.5 million to sell, but it won't drop. So.
Yeah,
imbalances that it's not a lock that it has to fall.
No, nothing has to happen technically. We got out of our Facebook as that started to rip higher as well, but we're just out right here, so nothing happened there on a 212 break. And then Apple is really doing nothing. Was hoping that it would be able to fall back in. It doesn't look like that's going to happen either. So for right now, not a whole hell of a lot happening as these imbalances go. But we do have guests here today. So we have Christian and Dominica from Ecuador. They're going to be ringing the bell at the close. So that should be a lot of fun. They're right now taking Miss V's time. So I think it'll be a shared bell ringing opportunity here.
Like we
should
usually
be a
do.
lot of fun. Yeah, like we usually do. So that should be good. Coming through right now, so you're going to get to see some traders on.
That can be anybody that wants to visit, right?
Yeah, we've said that already. If you guys want to come through, we are downtown Toronto, so you can come through anytime if you are interested in doing that. But yeah, with only 2.5 minutes to go, we're getting ready to ring that bell. So yeah, hopefully tomorrow. I like the AMD long. For me, it'll be Airbnb would be what I would call, but very, very risky situation to be calling stuff before earnings.
Well, the thing about it is it almost doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter whether you beat or not. Expedia actually beat expectations. They just got absolutely punished anyways, and the guide certainly part of that. I just always look for the key levels. With 2 minutes to go, like Expedia, and this is what we were sort of talking about, the 175, it's not necessarily rocket science. Like, you got the 200 period moving average, you got 175, you knew your next support is 150, so the event that you come in here, you had to be really early. Unfortunately, it broke in the pre-market, but had this rolled over at 9:30, locked and loaded and ready to go because I was already looking for 175 in Expedia. And that's what you can do before earnings, is you can know what you want to be watching when you sit down, so that if you have to make a quick call in the morning, you've gone and done the diligence, understanding that's going to be a key stock to watch.
I remember when Tony was just like, yo, everybody come through. We have like a lack of security. Our door's always open and stuff like that. And now I see on the chat, people are like, oh yeah, just come through. You just walk right through the door. I am not going to confirm nor deny that story.
There is security.
Yeah, there's security for sure. So anyways,
Is there though?
Is there though? Yeah, I'm not sure. But anyways, we are getting ready right now with only a minute left. Christian and Domenica on the bell. So they're getting ready to rock and roll here with only
I feel like
now
they're getting the instructions.
40 seconds. What was that?
They're getting instructions, make sure they get it right. No pressure. Yeah, Miss V is like, this is the guy, you got to do it.
Yeah.
Don't
I'm not
ring
sure
it too loud.
I'm not sure we need to teach people how to swing a mallet, but Miss V is over there one more time. So no, she's gone. Miss V is gone. So we will have Christian and Domenica here from Ecuador. I'm sure it's a little warmer over there than it is right here.
I hope it's warmer there. Get the
right
camera
now.
on them. Don't put it on us.
Yeah,
this is their moment.
Hi, let's wave. There we go. Hey, guys.
There you are. Wave. Your
thanks
camera. You're on live. This is your moment. Thank you guys so much for coming through. We'll say hi in a quick second, but we're
Send
about to
this
drop
to your
the
mom
countdown.
and everything like that. You guys are Twitter famous. All right, let's go. With only 10 seconds to go here, we're getting ready to ring this bell to conclude
5,
a very exciting
4,
day.
3, 2, and ring it.
All right, yeah. It is the bell. We have the bell ringers going on. Thank you. What a great job there. I think they might
And a
have just...
gentleman, make sure the lady gets the last ring of the bell. That's important.
Very good. Very, very good. I still have Apple shares. I got to get out of these ones, but no problem. It's 4 o'clock right now. We'll wait for some earnings to come out. AMD could be any minute. So could Starbucks. But Brendan, for now, how did we finish?
Are a ton. So let's get through this real quick. Here we go. 0.46, guys, for the S&P. We're basically flat for the Dow and the NASDAQ. But hey, it's positive. We'll take it. Nice day here in Toronto. TSX 1%. Oil downside. Cryptos, yeah. We kind of tanked into the close there for equities, anyways, on the crypto markets.
All right.
But we held the bottom.
Yeah, where were we down? Yeah, flat. Yeah,
we're flat in the day.
We'll take it,
Which
man.
we kind of thought we wouldn't break the range on before the Fed, right? Like the moves will happen after 2 o'clock and when they're talking. That's all.
We are very excited, guys. Tomorrow's going to be Fed Day. It should be a very, very great day for everybody tomorrow. Tons of earnings, tons of stuff, man. I mean, be here at 8:30. We'll go over all of our ideas, all of our levels. Might not be super exciting until 2 o'clock, but once 2 o'clock hits, man, those first few hours will be hot fire in the morning.
You know it.
And then the closing show is going to be fire as well. Hopefully, we'll be able to provide that to you. But the one show that's always rocking and rolling is the midday show. So shout out to Trader Prad, who's over there getting ready to bounce. Thanks, Trader Prad. Another great show there today. And thank you to Fahad, everybody working in the back today. Absolutely fantastic. And we're really happy to have the guests come through today on the guest traders. Miss V's there, Brendan's there. It was a good day overall. Brendan, how was your day trading? Good?
Good, yeah. Airbnb, guys, just out.
And?
Of course I'm looking at something.
Just double checking.
Let me see, A, B, N, B. Let's see what we're doing. Ooh, a nice little spike upside. Oh yeah. Who made that call right there for Airbnb? As we said, man, this might be one to buy, but don't make any calls right now because there it is. The spread right now is $6.
$5?
Yeah, $6 spread on Airbnb. So we'll get those numbers to you.
That's
but the trade of the
insane.
day, well, right now it's going through 150 again. Airbnb 151 right now. Airbnb starting to go to the upside. So this was a call that we made, but hey, who knows where it's going from here? Don't go, I didn't buy any. No Airbnb, no. We called this to the long side, and there it goes. Your boy did it again temporarily. Let's wait to see where Airbnb goes. What a fantastic day. Make sure you join us tomorrow. Lots of sports tonight, lots of stuff happening, lots of earnings. It's going to be an exciting one for all of us here at Day Trade the World and tradertv.live. We'll catch everybody on the flip side tomorrow at 8:30. Be there, be square. Jorts rule. See you tomorrow.
No, they don't. Bye.
Jorts rule.